Earthquake. That'll happen. Earthquakes happen. Sit here, talk to myself. Why? Why not? So, welcome to Kiwi's Road and Forrest Fenn's Beyond the Thrill of the Chase with Adventures. I'm James. Kiwi is inside, chillaxing. And this is a whole bunch of miners madness going on. I just wanted to share my own little world a little bit. It was interesting. I come out to the shed to think, or when I get bored, or just because I like the stuff around me. Anyhow, I digress, which will happen a lot in this world of mine. That's why it's called Miner's Madness. And I'm just sitting here trying to get on here, see if this thing's even working. We'll start from there. But don't let me forget, the title. The title is important because at the very least, it makes me wonder what other people are doing. I mean, I can see some, hear some, but the adventures still continue with everybody who was part of the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase, part of that adventure. And there's other adventures out there every day. I mean, just waking up and breathing is a good adventure, right? Oh, so much to do, so little time. And this train, boy, it's been a while. Let's see, I gotta look at my cheat sheet board. I got a board over here. You can get it. It says, "Can you find the chest just with the poem and the map?" And the answer is yes, apparently. Oh well, but it's easier with the process of elimination of where Forrest was to at least get from uh, within like 500 feet to 200 feet to right on top of where it was supposedly hidden or was hidden, retrieved from. But it was an adventure that I myself took, and I'm sure others have taken. Boy, this thing is like, I'm trying to shut it up and I don't want to be quiet. That's the tablet. There we go. Let's do that. Settings. And go to notifications. See, I've been away for a while. People may or may not know, but I had some tending to do too back on the East Coast. Some would almost say some soul searching, or at least, see, my do not disturb is on here. Why is it all going crazy, Craig? It's okay. Who doesn't like a little beep every now and then? Makes you wonder what's going on in the background. All right, step 2. I gotta pull up YouTube, see if this thing's still working. Probably not, but we'll find out. YouTube, going to the channel. Because I'm just curious. Oh, aha. It's showing something. Oh, it's showing 4 people in here. Well, that's interesting. Thank you, 4 people. Who we got? Redneck, Jason, how you guys doing? Glad you're here. I mean, if you kind of think about it, soul searching in a small picture, myself sort of way, and a bigger picture in just life general stuff. Now, I mean, today's show is brought to you by some young lady who refused to get out of a vehicle, out of her father's vehicle, and was considered trespassing on private property. And she just refused. And to me, in today's society, I'd say there's been a big change between the the late 90s, early 2000s, and a big jump in societal what's the word I want to use? right versus wrong, good versus bad, evil versus, non-evil, etc. And how the past 4 to 6 years, there's been a big change in society's view. Now, Forrest Fenn, as he was writing in his book, I mean, one of the things he was pointing out was that he wanted to get kids off of the couch and outside, living life, doing things, and it's actually good for you. It's good for the soul. Which, you know, going up to Yellowstone was actually part of that healing process within the past, 4 or 5 years of myself. And so part of my adventure or adventures is like I'm trying to get a hold and work with Yellowstone park superintendents or park chief rangers or whatever, and so that I can fly my drone in there so I can do some video shooting. Because I think Forrest Fenn, well, I don't think, I know Forrest Fenn had a story to tell, which only he could tell in a written form. To hear him talk about it or read the poem or parts of the book gives that emphasis on, I guess, messages he was trying to relay to anybody, right? Oh, this train is going all over the place, people. I hope you brought something to drink. I got some non-Powerade water with some like great flavoring, uh, water enhancer stuff. Pretty good. Oh, I see people dropping out already, like flies. That's okay. They're missing out. For all those people that dropped out like flies, here, I'll show you what you're missing out. Part of the adventure, or going on and continuing the adventure beyond the thrill of the chase. It's a title. It's part of uh, my book. It's the title of my book, Beyond the Thrill of the Chase, that I'm working on. Going back east to help my father was a vital part of that journey. See, everybody's dropping out. So I guess they don't want to see none of this stuff. Oh, what is this? Oh, for all those people that dropped out early, there's that $5 gold coin from the Forrest Fenn Thrill of the Chase, which I'm giving away as a random comment picker. So, oh well, but I'm giving it away. It's all part of a process. Sales pitch. Honesty works. So, to all those people beyond the thrill of the chase, this is part of that. Is a story that Forrest Fenn was sharing, and I kind of went along for the ride. Was able to get a piece of it, and then I'm wanting to depart with, in a way, in a positive way, to help raise awareness for mental health, because keeping yourself occupied in life helps change your mindset by the things you say and do. And this is just one of those projects that helps keep my mind occupied to move life in a positive direction versus a negative. So now it's just me, myself, and I, which is okay. I'm boring. It's all right. I'll talk to myself all day long because, why not? I mean, it's just, I'm going to do an open Zoom. I mean, I'm just here talking. The title, Beyond the Thrill of the Chase with Adventures. Yeah. So, yeah. So I was going to talk about the gold coin from Forrest Fenn's Thrill of the Chase, along with some other stuff, silver, some copper cobs and stuff, or things that's part of a journey that I myself is continuing. So back east, I had the pleasure of moving or relocating, shifting over 25 tons or more of stuff, as we will say. And amongst those stuff is some like Dungeons and Dragon figures that my father had collected when he was in the service and was playing Dungeons and Dragons. So as part of my continued adventures, if anybody cares, is what I'm planning on doing is like, I don't even know if you can see it. Probably not. No. Where's the camera? Camera. Focus. Right there. No. Can't see it. Okay, that's too bad. But anyway, some of these, they're dated and they got the names on them of who's there. Well, who's there? Like the manufacturer name. Who's there? So the idea is that the undated ones, I'm gonna paint, or learn to paint and become an artiste. I used to paint uh, little figures when I was a kid, got out of it, but that's okay. I figured as another time consumer, a hobby, or a just something to do when I get extremely bored with myself, I can go to painting a Dungeon and Dragon figure and uh, an unpainted one, and I would do a drawing so that the person would get the unpainted dated one and the one I painted as just a token of appreciation. And I would, probably try to do this like once a month or something like that. If I get into it, it depending on how people do. I'll probably title it like, painted figures D&D giveaway, something stupid like that. But I mean, it's sad to say that my father had let these sit. I mean, he enjoyed playing Dungeons and Dragons. It was a time consumer hobby. It was something that I would have to say, um, learning more about my family history when I went back east. Um, when good or bad things happen in relationships, people uh, tend to fill the time or void with things. And I'm not saying anything good or bad, but my father did Dungeons and Dragons, and they were part of his collection. His one of his, I'm going to carry this around and I'm going to do something with it. And it ended up sitting for over 40 years, 30 years, 30 or 40 years, 35. I would go even 35 in the middle on on how long this stuff sat in a trailer versus a truck where he thought his stuff was protected. And to see how fast a person can change because of mental stimulus of thinking that something that he held precious ended up getting in a rot pile, I guess is lack of a better words, is uh, it was hard to see my father um, pretend and make it seem like it was okay. They were, I mean, he had comic books that he thought were protected. I mean, they went back to glue and mush. And but to see photo albums, of his life overseas in the military, being recognized through the service with him and his hobby for medieval uh, whatnots like suit of armors, weaponry, and stuff like that. He even enlisted in his suit of armor, which I think is pretty freaking cool. So, I mean, these are stories that I've learned from my father that were passed down, just like Forrest, Fenn, and Throw the Chase was passing stories to whoever. And so, um, yeah, just these are just parts of different adventures that I'm taking. Hey, Troy, Redneck. Uh, some people come back in. I apologize for not like into uh, opening the Zoom yet, which I will. Um, just to have conversation, but I'm just kind of giving a very long back story of title, Beyond the Thrill of the Chase with Adventures, as is some of the hobbies that I'm going to do. I got my book I got to work on. Now I got these D&D figures that I need to paint and give away, just because, even though my father wasn't able to use them, I can sit there and use them and take my time for the rest of my life and have a hobby time consumer that I can always fall back on. That's simple. That even if nobody sat there and made a comment to get the painted and dated unpainted dated one. I mean, it's still something to do. And part of this I'm going to share is oh, the Lost Padre mine too, because it's an adventure beyond the thrill of the chase. And after seeing how things have uh, transpired, in and out of the chase, around the chase community, as I call it, the chase marketplace, the possibility, right? People were searching for Forrest Fenn's Thrill of the Chase treasure box because of the possibilities that it could bring them. After looking at, I guess, the one word particular, greed, but there's other things that played, to see the difference in the way people change their lives for better or for worse. This Lost Padre mine thing that I'm going to share is, for me, I would almost have to say that I couldn't, I would have to give it all back to the states, in a sense, so that it's a reciprocating thing that would go back in the loop, because even trying to get a percentage of it, it would bring too much heartache and disdain to any one person. So for and that's the thing, is the possibilities of this lost Padre mine that may not exist at all, but the possibility, if it does, I mean, there's dreams and aspirations, and to finally figure out the end part of it, it just makes total sense that you would have to break it up between the 50 states and have the government protect it and have it as a museum piece, so that the funds that are created from revenue of people visiting in each state, that it would go back into the system for the people, as far as, food, water, and shelter, basic necessities, and especially for the mental health portion. And I think that would be the ideal in best way that a story like the Lost Padre mine, if what's true, would best serve the nation versus a single person. So there's that. And then what else was there? I sent myself. So there's that. Oh, the comet picker video. So there's, like, I think it's 114,000 comments, which I guess would be 114,000 subscribers. If a new subscriber made a comment, then that would be enough to get rid of that gold coin. Oh, since there's more people in here, let me bring that puppy back out anyway, just so you can see. So part of Beyond the Thrill of the Chase and helping, again, raise that awareness for mental health, Forrest Fenn helped provide a time consumer for me, and opened up a world of change. And with that, there was a reward. Oh, why is it so blurry? Stop being so blurry. Oh, well, it's blurry. So you get to see a blurry coin. So I'm actually going to post that video right now, and I'm going to pin it at the top for a minute, just for a minute, for those people who might be interested. Oh, but oh, hi. You can talk to the alien, not me. You can look at that. But this is the goodness gracious, it sucks when you have to use glasses. 1880, $5 gold piece. Yeah, 1880, $5 gold piece. And so as part of ways. we raising the awareness. See, I'm getting scattered, so like the conductor in my brain is like going like 8 different places right now. But I mean, along with that, so it's the 14th comment picker draw, right? That's a lot of subscribers, but that's okay. I mean, this is one of those time-consuming things that would probably last the rest of my life, because there's probably no way 114,000 new subscribers would work in my universe, or would it? We'll find out. But I mean, like some silver, there's going to be some more. But I mean, there's just added extra stuff with each of the coin drawings. So there's 14 drawings. There's 2 special ones. One is the Shiloh map that he signed. That is being given away too, in case people didn't realize or remember or know to care to think about. But yeah, so there's that for everybody that popped in. And to get in on this giveaway for the Forrest Fenn coin, and help share and to your family, friends, or whoever, just so they have a chance, because it's a icebreaker that you can use to have a conversation with anybody. I mean, literally, I mean, you're getting something for free for just taking 5 minutes or seconds to share. Oh, we're gonna copy the link. Now I'm gonna go over here and open this up. Now we're coming right in here. I'm gonna paste this like this here. Boom. So there is. Oh no! Hey, what happened? Went back. There is the video where you go and make a comment, and when you do that, share it. I mean, you ain't got nothing to lose, right? So I'm gonna pin that at the top for a minute. People may pop in around. If you want to see some more of the other shiny, just let me know. Hit 1 or 2. If you win, hero, with power level, you win the L4, right? Wait, no. I can't power level anybody in Diablo. I'm one of those bad leechers. I've been playing. So video games is another time consumer, and I got the PS5 and Diablo 4 come out, and so I've been playing Diablo 4 with some of other YouTubers, and Why Must I Go happens to be one of them. But I think I remember something like that, Redneck. But yeah, I don't mean to. Oh, so I guess I can say that. Hi, how you doing? And if I didn't say hi, how you doing? If I forget to say hi, how you doing? Welcome again to Miners Madness. This is Keys Road, and beyond the thrill of the chase and different adventures. So there's that I covered. There's that I covered. Oh, and I'm gonna open up the Zoom and see if anybody wants to like look at some of these pictures that I got from the for this Lost Padre mine. It's just a thing. I mean, shit. I might even just play the video, which is like 6 minutes or whatever, and just see what people think. I wonder if I can do that. Hmm. Uh. Because I mean, it's another adventure that is one of those things that may or may never happen, but we'll find out. Okay, so who wants to come in and chit chat about like nothing? Because I mean, there's like everything to chit chat about. Time consumers in life that are used as adventures that will take a while. And I got 3 of them that I'm sharing. Oh, the Madison Project. Ooh, let me share that real quick. So before I open up the Zoom. So the Madison Project. So apparently Forrest Fenn wrote a book, and he had a poem in there, and it talks about a blaze, right? And then all of a sudden there's some kind of email, I guess, out there about like several different dozen blazes and which one's the right blaze, yada yada yada, right? So if well, not if, we'll have to say that if the chest was found at the 9 Mile Hole, Madison River, Yellowstone, for me, the Madison Project is focused on 3 things. It's focused on Fenn Rock, It's focused on people, whether searchers, non-searchers, it don't matter. I mean, if you know somebody that's been there and has taken a picture, I mean, see if you can't get it from them and shop it on over. Oh, I gotta go here again to Messenger. So go to that pinned video at the top because it won't be there very much longer. Make a comment, share it. That way you get the comments going. And I'll do an update every now and then to read the new comments and then make sure I like them because I heart them, because I read them and I respond. But to let other people know, I sit there and I'll go over it. So this is the Madison Project. If you care to take a look, you may or may not, is okay. But and the third thing about the Madison Project is the blaze or a blaze or blazes or whatever. Hop on over. It's a group I started for on Facebook, and part of that project is an idea that I have with it. I don't want to. Come on, what happened? I'm trying to pin this message. All right, replace pin message. So there, pinned at the top now is a Facebook group that I created to capture the images of 9 Mile Hole from a bigger perspective away, because I'm curious to see at what point in time throughout the chase did that lightning struck tree that was off into the woods was visible or not visible from Fenn Rock. And it's just a curious project because if that was the blaze that was so big and tall and lightly stood out, then you should be able to see it from Fenn Rock without having to go into the woods to find it. I mean, that's how I would have pictured it going down. So that's part of the Madison Project. So if you ever hear me say Madison Project, just find a picture of 9 Mile Hole Rock, Fenn Rock, whatever you want to call it. Shoot it over to be like, here's a picture of it, because and also permission to use those pictures because it's part of a project. Hence the Madison Project. Okay, so there's that. So now I'll open up to Zoom. I got to sit there and go to the Messenger again. This is all these different things I got to do. Unprepared. Let's see if this is the right one. Copy link. Because in the Zoom, as part of Beyond the Thrill of the Chase with Adventures, I'm going to share the link to my folder of research, so to speak. And I'd be curious as to what people's thoughts are. Oh, come on. Oh, I gotta tap the link and share it. So there's that. So now, if you'd like to come, oh, my lantern, this thing keeps changing over. Let's try this again. Let's pin this one. I'm not much of, come on. So like Facebook, Jack entered, admit. There's only a few people that change their names around. How goes it with the picture of whoever Jack? Is that Jack Stoof?
That's me, Jack Stoof. What's up, Pee-wee?
How's it going?
I didn't change this from when I was on. I don't remember what it was, Streets or Greg, so I kept Jack there. Jack's fake anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter who uses this picture.
Oh my God! I'm trying to pin this Zoom link, but it's not. Let me hit the change it. Oh, stupid! Being dumb. I have to wait till it scrolls up.
Oh, why is that thing with the 100 and the hearts? All those interactions is in the way, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Things. Matter of fact, oh look, somebody loves my show. They do 4 hats at a time. Stevie wants being here. I do that. I do 4 hearts at a time. Spam it. That's how you know it's me. All right, let's see. Live chat. Okay, let's see. Is it gonna let me replace the pin message? Nope. Keeps clicking on the Zoom link. It's being really dumb. But so I guess any thoughts on some of these adventures? Do you how do you think it would fare and take off?
I arrived late. As soon as I talked in chat, I didn't know that you were on here. I just got done having something for lunch and I checked out.
I didn't even know it was on here.
Yeah, I checked out YouTube. It doesn't send me notifications half the time. I don't know.
It's all right. You have to sit there and add the notification all the time. Personalize it. It's not that I go on that often anyway. Boy, this thing is not letting me pin this message. Sweaty fingers. I'm just nervous. There's just a lot going on, Especially, especially when you realize the importance of time in people. That there are two things you ultimately have no control of. Once you realize that, life is a little bit more simpler, but it's also gives you a better appreciation, or at least for me, it gives me a better appreciation. And I mean, I know some of you older folks. I mean, you guys are wiser in your years, and to hear you talk, not just you, but other searchers talk about, how they wish they had the time to sit there and be with a loved one. I mean, it makes it important being able to go back and visit family who you don't see often, or even call or talk to often.
Yeah, I
And I
can't.
miss you.
My family, I mean, other than my sister and my brother, and of course my daughter and my grandchildren, there is no family left. My grandparents, parents, my mother died when I was 27 years old. My father died 2017. So I don't have anybody other than my wife and my own immediate family, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you don't know what you had until it's gone. Like that's probably the way I would say it. You never think when you're in your 20s, oh, my parents, they're going to die. Obviously it's inevitable, but you don't think that it's going
Yeah.
to happen soon. So you got to try to appreciate what you have every day. And I talked about that with Forrest Fenn. Actually, I told him I think that he was so career focused when he got out of the military that by the time he goes to retire, he turns around and, his brother died in 78. His mother died in 79. Sloan died in the early 80s. Father died. Now he's got a death sentence and his kids are grown. And you look back and you're like, my God, man, time went on so fast. And you realize in the end, all the money and everything Forrest had, success that he achieved, he still felt, insignificant when compared to his father. His father had more of an impact on people's lives than he did. And it just goes to show you that money can't buy everything. Uh, so, I mean, Forrest didn't reply when I said that to him, but I'm sure it's right. But as part of that conversation, while I was having that conversation, was due to the fact that he sent condolences when my father passed away. And that's kind of what triggered the conversation. So I know he was reading it. But yeah, you don't. I mean, same thing with my son. I mean, last time I seen him was about 2 weeks before he was murdered, and you don't anticipate that something like that's going to happen. So you gotta, you know, you gotta appreciate the people while they're there, not when they're gone. Like Forrest said, I don't like the word legacy. If you like me or care about me, then talk about it now. Don't wait until I'm dead. You know.
Yeah. And that's something I kind of noticed is when I was sitting across the table with my father, he was he was telling a story, and I was conversing with my stepmom, Linda, and the look on his face was like, "Oh, well, I guess you don't need to hear my story. It's not that important." And it, I caught it, and it's like, "Oh, back to you, pops." Now what do you got to say? And he lit back up and he continued his story. And it's like, everybody's got stories that they like to share, particular ones. Sometimes it takes a photograph to even just spark a memory back up, and it's amazing the things that, if you're willing to listen or read, that you can pick up as far as uh, lessons or values that are passed down, which is part of a list that I had uh, made up with my father while I was over there. Was basic, simple life things.
I like your dad. I mean, I only met him when I never met him in person, but from what I heard him, I would love to sit down and talk with somebody like him. I mean, I like listening to the stories, and your father seemed like he's a really cool guy. So it's cool that you went there and spent a couple of months with him. He's going through, the stuff that he's going through, and you went there and helped him out. I mean, I'm sure, that he really appreciates it. I don't know, like my father was kind of like your father in that he wasn't, I don't know how to word it. Like, you knew he loved you and he did things because he cared about you, but he didn't express it like that. And your father seems like
Yeah.
that guy, but I'm sure he really appreciates what you've done for him. I mean, I know he'll tease you. My father used to tease me the same way, but I think that was really cool of you, what you did. I really do. I think you're in general, you're a really nice guy. Just to everybody, you seem you're going to treat others the way you would want them to treat you. I've never seen you do anybody wrong, even when the person is clearly wrong. Like they're doing something crazy. You tend to step back and look at the big picture, and that's what I like about you. And I think it's a really good trait. I think it's kind of cool hanging around with people like you. I'd rather associate my people that are positive like that now, especially considering all the stuff that's going on. Um, so I appreciate that, and I'm sure your father really appreciates what you do too. Really.
I appreciate that very much. Hey, Big Rob, how you doing?
All right, how about you guys? How you gentlemen doing?
All right, Rob, how you doing?
All right, how about yourself, Troy?
Not much. Just listening to Kiwi. I like. I for some reason it doesn't notify me half the time when I subscribe to channels, and doesn't tell me when they go live. It does initially, but then all of a sudden it stops. I don't know. So I missed like I don't know how long were you on so far.
Uh, yeah, probably about like 10, 20 minutes. I don't know, maybe an hour. I have no clue. I don't pay attention to that stuff. Time's irrelevant. The construct of man. Let me see.
Oh, you got that clock
I
going,
was
man.
on. I was on for that long. The sun moved that much, so I was on for that long.
Don't. I'm gonna have to get UK Paul here because you're watching that clock, man. Making sure the wife's gonna come home, but I got to put the apron on. I got some chores I got to do. And
Yeah, I
where's
know. It's 1 o'clock. I got an hour, so
where's Kiwi?
Kiwi's inside hanging out on the couch.
Oh,
I probably should grab her though, huh? But
So
she's
when
she's
did you make it back in town?
so I guess like the 16th of August, and then like that Friday, I had a wisdom tooth pulled out, and then yeah, I've just been catching up on some uh honeydew list stuff. Oh, who doesn't love that? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, same here. I've been doing a lot of hanging around or fixing up here and there, getting stuff still organized for my moving.
How's that going?
It's going. I mean, I got a lot of stuff done, but then there's some days like, yeah, I'll get it done tomorrow, and tomorrow will lead into Saturday, and then Saturday leads into Sunday. And be like, sooner enough, I'll get tired of it.
Right? I've been like putting off coming on to YouTube for like 2 weeks. Like, I'll go on. No, actually, 2 months probably since the last time I was on. Just putting it off. Just putting it off. Just reorganizing, I guess, my brain, the pattern. there's a treasure hunt that I was inspired to continue searching for different hunts, and so there was one that I was doing some research on and stuff, and I was wondering if anybody cared to see any of that research or not. I mean, it could be valuable, invaluable, or not. It don't matter. But I'll probably go and share it anyway.
Yeah, go
I'll
for
do
it.
that.
By the way, Hammer Time. Yeah, I figured the mythical Jack is mythical, but he don't exist. So pretty much anybody could be him. So I'm him for today.
In
Hey.
this universe,
Can I
anything's
be?
possible.
I did
Can I be
something Jack
Jack?
didn't do. I'm giving out a solve. Jack never did that. So there we go. That makes me qualified. Doesn't mean my solve is
Can I-
right. I'm saying.
Well, Troy, if you're Jack today, can I be Jack tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay, I just want to get permission from you.
Yeah, we really got to mess with people. One day, like you got to come in as Trusted Living, or come in as Candy, or come in as Street, or Greg, whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody changing names and do it, screw everybody up.
Everybody be like, "Who's Jack now?" The newcomers like, "Man, that Jack got an old voice for being a younger man."
Why
I'll be right
won't
back.
let me share the whole thingamabob, because I got a lot of pictures. And I ran across this one here.
What are you using? Like an iPad?
I'm using my phone.
Oh, that's probably why.
I stream from my phone.
Maybe if you turn the phone to portrait mode, maybe it'll show more of it. I don't know. Yeah, I hate using the phone.
Me
No, well, I mean,
too, I
there's a
can't stand
whole
the phone.
folder. It's like a whole folder. I'd rather just share. You know what I mean? The web URL. Oh, here we go. I'm cooking with fire now.
Be careful, Davey B. I might come in as you one day. We don't have your picture, so I'll just put a picture of who's that guy, that Crocodile Dundee guy, that actor in Australia. Put his picture up there.
Oh, I have no idea.
I forgot what his name is. Dude with the big knife.
Paul Hogan.
I call him Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah, Rob just said it.
Isn't that Paul Hogan?
Yeah, Paul Hogan, I think. Yeah.
What happens if I open up that Zoom link from here? It's just going to cut me out from over here onto this one.
By the way, that's probably what Davey B looks like, Hogan. I just picture him as this big rough guy out in the woods. He's got to go out and get dinner, so he jumps on the animal and beats the shit out of it by hand, warms it up.
Oh,
I just see him as a really tough Australian guy. I don't know why. That's what I imagined, and it'll be funny to see a picture of him. He's probably fucking 5'7", 150 pounds.
He's like, you call that a knife? This is a real knife.
Right. That's who I picture Davey B to be like, kind of like that, kind of a rough guy out, take care of himself.
He pulls out a rainbow. He pulls out a rainbow knife.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
I got my little
I got to smoke.
8-inch blade inside.
I thought you gave up smoking, Troy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Meetings.
I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Kiwi smoked. I've been playing Diablo 4 with him on and off every now and then, and he plays it on his PS5, which is in the house, obviously.
Well,
so I'm like, I got to go smoke, and I'm like, I'll be right back, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to go outside and smoke too. I'll be right back. Unless he's talking about smoking a couple of bones, I don't know.
Got to come off of here.
I'll be right back.
Smoking a couple of fingers.
Go on here. See if I even hear it.
And so nothing new on the chase at all. Nothing new at all. Any new information?
Oh, it's not coming through that. Come through that though. Ah, you fell. How you guys doing down there? That'll happen. Oh,
I feel like an ant.
can you even hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but not through my earbuds anymore. Kind of irritating. I switched it over from the phone to the tablet so I can try to share better.
That is so much to do when you could just have a desktop and make it easier.
But I hear better with my earbuds than through this thing. And it's like, I don't even know if you even hear me right. Probably like big old echo and something.
No, we could hear you. Well, I could hear you just fine.
Well, no, we'll just do it that way. I ain't got no.
It's up to you. It's up to you, but
Oh, you're falling again. Gonna get some weight up there. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So what's people in chat doing up for adventures beyond the thrill of the chase? Because I have no idea what chat's saying. Or what it does even any chat. Oh,
I
looking
don't know. But this year's coming to it. This year's coming to an end. To actually really go outside, depending where you're at. Because with my move, I'm really next to a river that I like, an old Indian river. And I'm like, oh, this looks cool. It don't seem like a lot of people prospect down here at all. So I can't do that this year. I'm going to do that next year.
yeah, see, I can't hear for nothing.
You can't hear it all.
Barely. These aren't connected, being all dumb. Oh, what is going on? Now I'm all frozen.
I don't
Man,
know.
stupid
You're not
earbud.
supposed.
Now I gotta
Not
listen like this.
supposed.
See, now I can hear you.
Oh my God! You need like a big speaker, like an 80 by 80 speaker, so you can hear everything.
Well, I got the volume turned up all the way. All right, share screen. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I want to go to. Mhm, mhm. Oh, let's see if it's on here.
I do got a pesky groundhog that's around my place. He's digging holes all over. A damn groundhog.
The holes of groundhog. What you just said?
Yep, digging holes. I thought it was a squirrel, but I'm like, that ain't a squirrel.
Let's see if this works. I wonder what this does. Nope. Web page unavailable. Oh, that's a bad looking image right there. Wonder why that. Oh, what happened? Oh, I gotta stop
Uh-oh.
scrolling and sharing that one. I guess the next move is to screen share this in. I want to do individual. Should have done like a slideshow or something.
What is
Made
it
it more
about?
interesting. Yes.
Need to get a computer and use PowerPoint.
Yeah, see, I can't even hear you, Troy. Everybody's voice is downgraded.
You hear me, Rob?
No bueno.
Yeah, can you hear me, Troy?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm sitting here just talking to myself now. I'm trying to pull up. Let's see.
Hey, Rob, if he can't hear us, that means that we could talk about him.
I
We
guess
could
the
talk
map.
about him. He won't know. He won't know, Rob.
Yeah, Kiwi really believes it's 9 Mile hole. He's just not telling you.
Oh, I guess I'll just go back and put it on the phone, the Zoom, so that I can actually hear. I'll just use the phone and zoom in and out from there, I guess. All right. But I mean, look at that. That's probably hard to read, but that's 1804. That's a map of New Spain. All right, switching. Oh, disconnected. Disconnected.
Can you hear us talking at least?
I can hear you now,
Oh, okay.
but I'm switching back over to the phone so that I can actually hear you. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Damn.
Okay.
There we go.
No
No
feedback
feedback
on
on
noise.
noise.
Wait, yeah,
there is.
Oh, you got feedback, bad.
What
You
about
still
now?
there, Troy?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
do
did he
you
leave?
It's an echo. You got an echo.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
How about now?
yeah, I could hear you. I don't know if you could hear me.
No, but is it better though? No echo, huh?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
hear you
close
pretty
that
good. I
echo.
don't know if you can hear me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just
Alright.
technical glitches. Oh, hey, Forrest, Fenn's face.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess we'll just do it this way. One picture at a time. Just dumb. I guess like a slideshow would have been way easier. Just did a video.
Yeah.
Should just play the video. I wonder how many people seen the video. I wonder if I could just do that. But it would, because it's just interesting. The video it would be nicer. But I mean, this is what got me on that 1804 map. So Las Padre mine is a mine that was supposedly around for the Spanish there, around El Paso. Story goes that they would go up a valley, get the gold, come back across the river, and build that town over there south of the border. But I mean, from an 1804 map to now, I mean, things have changed. Society's changed. I mean, places, I mean, people have sat there and moved so close to the hill that I think after the 1680 revolt, when Americans sat there and drove out the conquistadors, the Spanish, down south and whatnot, part of the story is that the churches that were built, they would sit there and they also hid their wealth up into this mine that was owned by the last conquistador, Juan de Oñete. And so, I mean, it's a 300 and something year old treasure hunt. But when I sat there and I found this map, and I'm looking at, and I'm most of the maps I was looking at, I follow the Rio Grande. I mean, it was named like 8 different names. So I mean, yet the maps were named different names. The countries were named different. So you have to go looking for those different names in maps. You know, but to see an X that was penciled in on a map in the same place that a mine story was told, a lost church wealth story was told, etc. It just jumped out at me as like how much of this can be true. Did the Spanish have a spot that was marked out as this is where one of the mines was? You know, make your way back to go reclaim it from the Americans, and it was a story it definitely intrigued me.
So do they think it's in Utah? Where is that supposed to be there?
So this is El Paso.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's the Big Bend of the El Paso River. And if you it, going back then, I mean, there's no freeways and highways crossing through the deserts and stuff. So your trade routes and your travel routes, they're all along the rivers, you know, and those were your highways. And it's like, I don't know, for me, it just kind of stuck out that, hey, there's a map that's of New Spain, um, that has an X from 1804. And so it's just something that intrigued the mind. And part of it is just like the Forrest Fenn treasure is, you know, there's gold and stuff in there that you can sell to help your life be better, you know, or even just to have your name in state as part of a treasure hunt like that, you know, as the finder, the locator, the man who or woman who uh, solved a place that they felt Forrest Fenn was leading them. Not to say that he hasn't done that for a lot of people. I mean, I found myself in places Forrest Fenn had been because he led me there from his stories, you know. So I mean, and part of that, and it goes to that change in percentage, you know, of personal take to uh, none, because it's like a wealth like that. I mean, that's a lot of wealth. What's this one? So this one is the entrance of Franklin Mountains. This is from New Texas Treasure, waiting to be found. This is off a web. And El Paso County, you know, story shrouded in legends in the Lost Padre mine, ledger hidden somewhere in the Franklin Mountains. So mining and prospecting, well, I've been doing it over 10 years now. I mean, there's different ways at looking at different treasure hunts. You know, people looked at the Forrest Fenn treasure hunt in different ways. Everybody had a different way of looking at it. Mine was a personal, what I felt he was personally trying to convey in the particular stories where he would use reverence. So I mean, reverence was my key word in the storyline to help me marry the stories to the lines in the poem and lines of the poem to reverend places that he adored, that he talked about on a map. So um, when I heard him say contentment is key in life, um, I took that almost to assume that even in his stories and his poem, contentment, if I could find where he was content, and reverence was the word that matched best with it for me, that he was content in where his mind brought him. And in the book is a lot was about fishing, but so I mean, from the 1580s, early 1600s, I mean, the Spanish conquistadors were occupying that area. I mean, mining it, enslaving the natives and stuff. And he was um, he was oh my, I hate to say conscripted, but he was appointed governor for that region um, through the King of Spain. But it was interesting how much stuff just for uh, one Dionyete, but also um, in particular Aztec codices. So as you people could probably read, I mean, 300 burro loads of silver were left in the mine by the Jesuits before they continued off their travels to New Mexico. But there's also um, Juan de Oñete was ordered by King Philip II to colonize the Upper Rio Grande in 1595. And he hid in the shaft 5,000 silver bars, 43,000 gold, 4,300, yeah, 4,300 gold ingots, 9 barrel loads. I mean, so this is a lot of wealth. But supposedly 4 Aztec codices. And I mean, if this storyline has any shred of truth, I mean, those are some pretty cool truths if they were, you know what I mean? It would be a significant find, a rewrite of history. How? Well, person that finds a wealth like that and then just gives it back to the state. I mean, that would be something worth of note, I would think. You know, because
Yeah,
there's always,
that's if it's even true though that it's there,
that's
because
if it's
a
even
lot of
true.
this
Yeah.
stuff. When I was looking at, like, not this one, but there's one called the Iron Door or something like that, that they believe kind of the same situation, and I think it was Utah. But there's a lot of places that the Spanish booby trapped, and they did things, and on the internet you could find like all these old blazes, I'll call them, that they
Yeah.
claim that they were documented. Oh, this would mean that the treasure's in that direction. Well, it turns out that a lot of those are false. They're not real blazes, but pranksters went out and set up traps and put, things that aren't there, and they purposely went out to mislead people. So if you're really naive and you try to follow one of those old maps and use those old blazes, you may find yourself in a pit with spikes, poison spikes, or just dead, because that's the kind of crazy shit that they did. So with a lot of that Spanish stuff, it kind of like the Holy Grail type thing, where it doesn't really exist, they're saying, and they were just sent on a wild goose chase. You know what's interesting, Kiwi? I wonder how much gold the Indians stole from the Spanish, because the Indians were enslaved to move that stuff around. So you got to imagine they probably took some of that for themselves and hid it somewhere.
Oh, you know it.
No, so did the Spanish. One for the
Yeah.
king, one for me, one for the king, one for. How the hell's the king going to know? He ain't here.
Well, if I could be wrong or mistaken, and most likely am, is 1/5 of it was sent back to Spain, and hence that's why they were calling it the 1/5. And that I would assume that the other 4/5 of what they were bringing in stayed to help run and maintain the newfound New Spain, the New World, the New Kingdom, however they want to refer to it.
The man alone told me, and I don't know how true it is, and I know we discussed this before. Man alone did a lot of research into it when he lived in Florida, and he was seeking Spanish gold, because there's gold all over the coast down here in Florida. It washes up after every storm. Anyway, he was telling me that in the treaty or whatever, when we purchased the land, okay, one of the things in the treaty or whatever, the land purchase deal, whatever it was, is that if a lot of them old riches are found, it actually belongs to Spain. That includes gold on the land, by the way. It's actually written in the deal that we made with Spain when we bought the land. Now, I have never looked at the documents. So I don't know if that's true, but I kind of took Man Alone's word for it, because I think he's really knowledgeable on the subject. I wish he was here right now to talk, because he'd probably be interested in what you're talking about. But that's what he told me, though. So, and it'd be kind of hard to keep a discovery like that secret. But apparently, Spain would claim that it's theirs, and they would take it.
Hi, Tyler. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Just probably getting sick or something. I don't know what the hell it is, dude. It's awful.
Oh, hopefully you start feeling better.
I appreciate it.
Congratulations on
Yeah, it's flu season now, right?
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah, I think every time around September, so flu season. I don't know Up north, it's probably starting to cool down a little bit, I would imagine. Are you in Montana yet, Tyler?
No, not yet. I leave at the end of January for it. I'll get it the
cool.
date. I'll get an exact date in within the next 2 weeks for when I
I
leave.
bet you're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, congratulations. I hope it
I
works out
appreciate
for
it,
you.
brother. Yeah.
So this is part of that story that was in a book that was given to me by my counselor. Lost American Treasures, Lost Treasures of American History. And in here, I mean, the Lost Padre mine, as you can read, I'll read it anyway, because I like to read and talk to myself. The legend states that every morning a priest climbed to the top of the mission tower and tolled the bell, summoning all of the other priests to worship. From this vantage point in the bell tower and in the light of the rising sun, and this is key and important right here. From this advantage point in the bell tower and in the light of the rising sun, and the sun rises from the east and sets in the west. It's not rising from the south and setting in the north. And I'm just throwing that out there, just in case there's when people are looking at. I've seen videos where they were looking at a spot on the mountain using the bell tower from the church that's south of the mountain range. It makes this story not line up, and it doesn't even make sense. But this story here written makes sense, that the rising sun would cast a shadow from the bell tower to the mine entrance, to the Padre Gold Mine in the Franklin Mountains, which is kind of key. So,
Yeah, I like the bell tolling thing because that's what they did to the Pueblos. The Spanish, they had one priest in every Pueblo, and every morning the bell would toll, and you have to go to church because if you didn't go, they'll kill you or they'll cut off a limb or something like that. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I think in Spanish, in the 1680 revolt, in the stories about it, they say that's the first thing they were told is go into church, kill the priests, and shatter the bell. And the reason why they would shatter the bells, they were pissed off because that was like the signal every morning. We got to go to church whether you wanted to or not. And then they were told to burn the churches down. And when I was reading about it, it was so bad that like some of the Pueblos converted to Catholicism, and the other Pueblo cultures would fight amongst each other because they were like, well, if you're not going to kill the priest because you are all of a sudden Catholic now, then we're going to kill them. And they would go in there and kill the priest and destroy the bells. The bells were bronze, incidentally, and they would shatter when you break. And that's what they did in Santa Fe. So that was kind of interesting because this is over in Texas, but it's kind of the same time frame, right? 1500s, 1600s, right?
Yep, right after Cortez and Coronado.
Yeah. And I think, who the hell's the guy's name? It starts with a P, the guy who did the 1680 revolt in Santa Fe. I keep saying Pope. That's not
Popoa.
Something, I don't know. He was up in Taos, and
But yeah.
And then he sent the guys south. They hit Santa Fe first. All the Spanish were held up in the governor's mansion on the north side of the Santa Fe River, and they basically cut off the water supply to Santa Fe and forced the Spanish to come out. And of course, then they fought and beat shit out of them and sent him down packing down the Rio Grande, which is exactly what Forrest Fenn is talking about when he says, they would go down the river because the inevitable was going to come. They were going to get killed. So they would stash their stuff behind and then head down the river, down to current day El Paso, Texas. And and then that's what happened. And then I think they came back though in 1692, and they were a little bit more lenient, and they let the Indians practice their religion for the most part. and they were not killing them and being as harsh as they were. But of course, you got to remember that when they came back, a big percentage of them already converted Catholic anyway. So they really didn't have anything to fight about. And they basically killed half the population. And the Spanish killed half the population. I think there was 120 something pueblos in New Mexico. And when they were done, before the 1680 revolt, there was only 40, I want to say 42 or 43. That was it. That's all that was left after 100. So they wiped out over half the population. I don't know what the hell they did with Texas.
Well, the disease played a big part in that role, which is, and it still does today. Disease plays a big part in the role in warfare. But yeah, I mean, this is part of that route in which they were coming over Hispaniola.
Yeah, well, that's it. When it came, what is that? It says Yucatan Peninsula, where Skippy drowned over there. That's where the Spanish arrived, and then they basically killed the Mayans and stuff around there, raped, pillaged the place. You know, that's actually why a lot of the natives have Spanish blood. They were raped by the Spanish that came here. They fought their way all the way through Central America, up through the Aztecs, killed all them, and then up into Mexico, which is current day New Mexico. Did the same thing up there. But my understanding is they weren't like the best Spanish people. They sent over criminals and they sent over. Yeah, I mean, it was almost, if you read the books, like they say that it was almost like going to prison when they sent them to the New World. They didn't want to come here. They were sent here because, they wouldn't send their best, most qualified people. So you got to realize all this stuff to talk about the gold and all the stuff that was going on. I'm sure there was a lot of stuff where these people were saying, hey, screw the king, man. 2 for him, 1 for us, 2 for him. So they probably have stuff stockpiled all over the place there, not just the Padre mines and the iron ore and all these other things. It's very interesting. You know what it gets me, though, and we always talk about this on streets, was it'll be nice to hear it from the Pueblo people themselves. Unfortunately, they didn't know how to write. So the only written accounts that we have of what happened is biased because it was written by Europe. So we don't really know the true history of what really happened. You don't think the Europeans are going to come here and write what they really did, because the word gets back to the king, they'd be killed. So they're going to bullshit them. So we don't really know the whole story. That may be the kind of stuff that, how Forrest said that there was ledgers, logs, and diaries, and that could be the kind of stuff that he found, which is really interesting. And something like that could change history as we know it. Really interesting stuff. I'd be interested more in that than the gold. But could you imagine coming up with something that would go against the Catholic Church? Because I mean, they were here for 2 reasons. 1, riches. 2, to push the Catholic religion. That's why they came to the New World, period. So could you imagine if you found something that would change it? Got back to Rome or whatever, and hey, what the Catholics are telling you is not true. How that would upset quite a few people, right?
The Roman Empire was
that.
the Holy Roman Empire was in bed with Spain and used the Spanish to acquire more wealth. And that's why they ended up sending them over to Central America and trying to expand, look for Saboba, send cities of gold, El Dorado, names.
You know what I found out about that?
Names,
You know what I found out about that during Columbus? It was actually Portugal that was supposed to come here. But the Portuguese, right, they were trying to find riches. And ultimately, they came up with an agreement. They split the Atlantic Ocean literally in half, right? And they basically said that Portugal can go anything east of that line, and then Spain will go west of that line. And that's why Spain discovered the New World. It would have been the Portuguese, but the Portuguese went down around the Cape down around Africa and heading back in because they thought that that's where the riches were. So they went in the opposite direction of here. And then what I also read is that when the Spanish did arrive here and they went back to the church, they were describing animals and people and stuff that were here that they had no idea it existed, and it conflicted with the Bible. So instead of telling the truth, they just changed the Bible and put a bunch of crap in there that wasn't true, basically. Interesting stuff.
It's just, you think of the Crusades and stuff. I mean, they were using the power of something greater than what people would normally understand as a fear tool. And clearly that's what they did with the Spanish Inquisition when they were coming over and whatnot. They were using the fear of God and using it as we're right, you're wrong, we're going to make you submissive. I mean, it's a unfortunate dark stain, but it's there nonetheless, and it's still used today. I mean, God
Right.
and Satan
Imagine
are
if it was
used as
proven
tools
wrong.
of war.
Now imagine if it was proven wrong. I'm going to go smoke it. What's up, Greg? I'll be right
What's
back.
happening?
What's going on, Greg?
I just got home from work a little bit ago.
Yeah?
Here
Oh, okay.
comes Stinger.
What's going on with you
Oh,
guys?
okay.
Not much.
Not
Just
much.
going over
Just
possibility
finish-
of a treasure hunt. Go ahead,
Good
Rob.
luck with that one. Have fun with that one.
Right?
Enjoy it.
I already have. I truly have had fun with it.
I have too, you know. Yeah. I've had fun with it all. I'm still having fun with it.
Well, it's good that you're having fun.
Yeah, man, a lot of research, a lot of rabbit holes I go down. Even though some of them aren't shit and don't mean shit. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm still kind of having fun. I'm working, anywhere from 60, 80 hours a week now and saving and doing what I need to do, but I'm still doing research.
Well, that's good. At least it keeps your mind going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, it's just funny, the shit on Cynthia Meacham. That's all. I was having fun with that one.
Yeah,
Just
what
don't
the
make
hell was that
sense.
all about, Greg?
Well, it don't make sense how she has a trust and everything was in a trust and put in another trust. And that was 1 month right after the chest was found, July 15,
Right.
2020. If you look at the dates precisely. Everything's being put in trust all around the same within 6 month time frame before the chest was found and after the chest was found. All the big wigs that are part of the chase, the ones that have money, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What
Not us little
trust for
peons.
what? What do you mean?
Huh?
What do you mean trust? There's trust
Trust
all over
fund.
the place.
Like trust.
And what about
they
it?
put their house in a trust. They put everything. Hide their assets.
Is it to hide their assets or to protect their assets?
Both.
Well,
I believe that's my
protecting
opinion.
doesn't necessarily mean that they're hiding it.
No.
I mean,
No.
my father has his stuff in a trust, it's a millet trust. It doesn't mean he's hiding anything, but he's
Yeah,
protecting
true.
it so that it's not being taken away from state or government.
Yeah. It's just rabbit holes I go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, crazy stuff.
I mean, yeah, crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
It does make you wonder
And
why around a certain time that they're doing that.
yeah, I mean that's the thing that brings up the flag to me. Why are you doing it a month and a half right after the chest was found, and why are you changing your name? Why'd you change your last name?
Did they get married back to
No.
their maiden name?
That's a good question too. You got to go down that rabbit hole.
Maybe that person don't want their information out. That's why they put it in the trust.
Maybe. You never know.
You You don't know what it could be.
Hey, I just throw the pickle on the wall. Whoever wants to pick it off and watch it slide or whatever they want to do with it, they can do whatever they want with the rest.
Man, I'll throw the pickle on the wall, walk away and start the car and go home.
Gotta have a little fun in the chase, you know? Oh, so how's everybody doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm hanging in there, getting stuff done around my house and running around, getting errands done. You know, once you move, you got so much shit you got to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm trying to get all this little stuff done before winter hits around here.
Yeah, we're getting ready to move soon too, so. Yeah.
I'm happy. Do you like your new place that you're looking at?
Yeah, it's gonna be better for the dog. More
Well, what
room.
about
So
you? I
you
mean,
moving to a different place?
forget about
What's that, Kiwi?
So you're moving from where you're living now to a different place?
Yeah, to a house.
Nice,
Out of the apartment into the house.
nice.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
So are you staying in
wait.
the same general area, or are you are in a different, like towns
There-
over or something like that, or a different state? I mean, like
It'll be in the
Robin's
same
in a good
state.
state.
Same state. I'm staying in the same state.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not leaving Ohio yet. Not until I go down to Santa Fe and start digging during the winter. So I don't know when I'll be able to leave. I'm hoping. I know I'm going to go down to New Mexico sometime in October. Because I got to look at my plot and all that and the land, and then put the down payment down on it. And then I'm hoping. I would say probably by December, I'll be down in Santa Fe for about 2-3 months.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I'll start digging. I said I was going to start digging. That's what I'm going to do. Start digging for artifacts.
Did you got
Hey,
a metal
guys.
detector yet?
That's good.
Hey, straight.
Hey,
What's
see, I
happening?
just want to jump in for a second. I'm gonna have to go. My wife's come home, and I got something I need to do really quick. But I'll probably see you later on street. I'm gonna go live tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to go on as early as I wanted to. So I have something that I need to take care of tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to do it. But I didn't tell anybody what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's up to you if you want to say anything. I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty cool, but.
Yeah, just
See you guys
just give
later.
me just give me a heads up if you can, man, like an hour beforehand or so I can get ready.
Yeah. I'll send you something before noon. And like, you know, if I'll do what I normally do, I'll fire up Zoom like, you know, at 45 minutes ahead of time or whatever. And, but
He's got
it just,
he's Troy, he's got to sit in his underwear in his mommy's basement. Don't you remember? He's got to get ready for that, you know?
oh, it's no big secret what he's going to do. I think it might be pretty funny. I don't know, but I'll let him explain it. I got to jump off. So it was nice talking to you guys. And like I said, I will be live tomorrow. I don't know exactly when though. It'll be sometime in the early afternoon, hopefully. And I'll send out an email ahead of time. So see y'all later.
Later.
Later,
Thanks,
Troy.
Troy.
All right, Troy. See you later, man.
What are you up to, straight?
Not much, man. About the usual. How's it feel to be back home, man? Pretty good, or
Bittersweet, yes.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I have a greater appreciation for my lifestyle versus being back east. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it definitely makes me more appreciative.
Well, the reason
Way
I
more
asked that, it's always nice to visit family, but it's especially as long as what you did, but it's really nice to get home, man. It really is. But like you said, bittersweet. I fully understand.
I did it too. Mhm.
Did you find your drone yet? Because I think I saw one flying around when I was flying mine.
Did ya? Send me the GPS, man. I'll track that bad boy down.
I think the kid found it in the country here by me.
How far
Down
south
in the farm.
are you all the way? I mean, Illinois, it goes like, if you look, it's on the same whatever as Kentucky, man. The southern Illinois, it gets pretty hilly and forestry down there, man.
Well, I mean, let's just put it. I'm close to Peoria, Illinois.
Okay, yeah, all right. Yeah, I forget what
Let's
town
just-
it is. It's southern Illinois, and it's like a destination place for like outdoorsmen and stuff, like hikers, and I forget the name of the place, man. It's pretty neat. I looked on online a few times.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to the Illinois River. Pretty damn close.
So you go out and do
Whichever
any
what
fishing on it?
What's that? I couldn't hear you.
I was asking if you go out and do any fishing.
I did the second day I moved here. I did some exploring. I went fishing in some rivers and creeks out here. And then I'm like, oh, while I'm looking, I'll see what kind of spots I could start, digging and see if I could find anything things in these old creeks. There's some old creeks here that you could get to, but you gotta walk out all the side of the creek. But I've been looking
Those
at
would be the
some
places to
nice.
look.
Yeah. It looks real promising, but I'm like, it's really too late in the season for me. So I want to probably do it next year sometime. Because there's some old Indian creeks here. I got Illinois River over here. Wherever there's water, there was life.
Yep. That's a basic law of attraction.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm in the country. It's really nice over here. Real quiet, real nice.
I wonder if Google Earth would be
Real
a
nice.
good thing to pull up.
Really nice small town.
Yeah,
Where did
street. I was
Greg
just
go?
going over. No, he's probably still there. I'm
I'm
going
here.
over a treasure hunt over in El Paso and the possibilities and sharing some of the research because the chase and how it transpired and ended and stuff, it helped reshape my ideas and thoughts for possibilities, because anything's possible, a shred of truth is still a shred, even if it's 5%.
Hey, Kiwi, you didn't hear about the
A dream.
you didn't hear the breaking news, Kiwi?
No, sneezing. What?
You didn't hear about it?
What
Oh,
happened?
I thought you.
What I missed?
I thought you heard. You know what the thrill of the chase was? They picked it up every time, and they moved it somewhere else. That's what the thrill of the chase is. They just kept picking it up and moving it in all different
Well,
locations. You weren't fast enough. That's all. That's why it's called the thrill of the chase. They kept picking it up and
I
moving
blame
it, picking
Kiwi.
it up and moving it.
Makes you wonder though. Had things
Hey.
been moved, I mean, the order in which pictures were released and stuff, but then again, just because they were released in different orders doesn't mean that they're not in consecutive,
Yeah, but I mean, hey, I'm still having fun. Even though I might say some shit at the end of the day, I'm still having fun. Like I said, I would have never been to Yellowstone. I never would have been to Santa Fe and doing all the stuff I'm doing if it wasn't for Forrest.
Yeah,
So I gotta
wouldn't have
give.
met
I
the
got.
different people.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have met everybody too, and been, part of everything. But still, at the end of the day, I'm still having fun.
And
So,
you wouldn't have read 2 books. So you got that
no,
going for you.
well, no, I'm on my third one. I'm gonna be 3
Oh
books in.
shit. Look out. Look out.
It'll be the
I
San
own
Lazaro one.
4. Well, I own 4 books, but I've never read any of them.
Yeah, I
I
finished
just
the
look at
San
the pictures.
Lazaro. I got to finish San Lazaro one still. I'm
Yeah,
about
I just look
halfway
at the
through.
pictures.
I just find it interesting about the ants, how he explains all the ants.
Yeah. Yeah. Southern and
That-
northern
that-
hemisphere.
Yeah, like he explains all the ants. Like right there, he's giving you title to the gold. He's like explaining it to you right there in bold letters how to find treasure. He just gave you the whole title.
Isn't that like their ability to pick up magnetism, the Earth's magnetism? And that's why
Yeah,
they
they pick up jewelry from pebbles. So when you start digging the ant hills and you put a microscope inside the ant hills and you start searching, the ants bring up the jewelry to the top of the ant hill sometimes. So if you start finding little pebbles of jewelry from the ants, then you know something's underground. That's ancient. Right there, he gave you title to the code. He gave you everything you needed to know. Good luck though digging up anthills, because I'm gonna have fun doing it. I hope I don't get eaten alive. I mean, that's gonna be the fun part. I mean, because supposedly the ant will, like, I guess the female sprays a scent on you, and then they all attack you.
What are you in fire ant country or what?
I don't know what it's called, an ant. I can't remember what they call it because I was doing research on the ant and stuff. But it's an ant. It'll spray. It sprays something on you, and then all the other ants will go and attack you.
yeah, you definitely don't want to go messing around a fire ant hill, man. They'll light you on
No.
fire.
No.
I've never got bit by a fire ant, so I don't know.
Well, it
And
only
you don't
takes one.
want to.
No.
Yeah,
That bad?
definitely.
Painful.
Well, they don't call it
I
fire
have.
ant because burning.
That's what she said.
Who is
That's
she?
too funny.
That's the question.
Oh yeah, who is she?
Yeah, who is she?
Got some interesting. There's this one photo. Part of the story was that the sun would rise on the bell tower and cast a shadow on a mine shaft. See, as how I ain't got that.
What the hell you reading?
Where to pop up? Oh, it's just part of that's Lost Treasures of American History. It's a book.
Well, you're talking to two books. So how the hell I know what you're talking about?
Hey, Greg, did you get my
That's a
image? My
whip
image?
book.
They get your what?
My image that I sent you through text?
I'm on the phone talking to you guys.
Oh, damn! You have to look at it later. I meant to send it to you the day I saw it. I was working, so I didn't get to send it. I just sent it now.
Gotcha.
Just like how I tried to send you that text when the day the news broke and it wouldn't go through, but I'm sure it went through on your end.
So what? So what? Are we supposed to get our final news no later than December 15th? Is that the date now for everybody
News for what?
from Shiloh?
I'm tired
Well,
of
what's
hearing that
Shiloh?
shit, man.
Huh?
My Shadow's supposed to have some kind of news.
I thought
No
it was
news
supposed to
is good
be.
news.
I thought it was supposed to be from any time from the 15th of this month to December 15th. He's supposed
he
to
releasing
release
a
the
book?
news. Who knows?
We
That
don't
would
even
be the
know
most
what news it
logical and
is.
sensible thing that I would think of is that somebody's releasing a book of a tell-all.
Yeah,
Oh,
another
if you want to
booker.
look on the screen, this is the Franklin Mountains. This is the east side of the Franklin Mountains. And on the east side, lower, right behind the police academy, there's a big A on the hillside. So anybody that goes to Google Earth or Google Maps and uses satellite view will be able to find this real easy. So on that big white A to the right, across the draw or that valley, you'll look, and you'll see like a square looking thing. To me, I believe that to be the bell tower that's in this fabled lost treasure. And as the sun would rise from the east, it would rise up and cast a shadow on the entrance to a mine shaft up the valley where they were mining.
Where's this
Yeah,
at?
it's like it's El Paso, Franklin Mountains, Lost Padre Mine of Juan de
Gotcha.
Oñate. And so, yeah, that would be my conclusion to
What were you thinking it was at?
possibilities. Oh, yeah, that's where I believe it to be, like
Are you gonna go?
99.99%. Well, one of these days.
Well, you just
And
gave
hopefully
everybody so they could start go searching it.
well, good. Hopefully, so we'll bring the right metal detector, the one I was going to use from a friend, Mr. Tilo over in Germany. He's 25 feet underground, and if you had a cave or a mine, it's supposed to be a mine that was housing that much mineral inside of it, it should buzz like a Japanese hornet. Just saying.
Trying to look
Yeah.
at the picture.
Google Earth is way easier.
Yeah, but I
Or-
don't like. I've been
Yeah.
using Google Earth for like like the past couple months. But how come you guys get so much good images, but I don't when I got Google Earth? Like I don't get this good of a detail.
Probably because you're either running off a cellular or your Wi-Fi is not that good. So as it's transferring the pixels, it's not pixelating enough for you. Or these older devices aren't pixelated enough. But yeah, so I mean, as the sun would rise over that square bell tower looking place, it would cast a shadow up that draw to a place that looks like there's a tailings pile and whatnot. So that would be the Lost Padre mine of Juan de Oñete, a
Okay.
possible treasure hunt that's worth giving back to the entire nation. So, but time will tell. It's a story.
That looks like some pretty hot, desolate terrain, man.
Yes, a lot of climbing, more vertical. Somebody reached out when I happened to be in the hospital, and we got together through email. And he actually went up there and did a hike around, did some boots on the ground for me. And then definitely, as time and age would wear on a place, it definitely shows. He felt that there wouldn't be any signs of any activity at all being up there, which if they were hiding their stuff to secret it away, I would hope that they did a good enough job that it looks like definitely nobody would be up there, poking around from then to now, because 300 years, yeah, you got people that are walking up there and traveling and camping up in the cave up at the top there and whatnot, but it's that the distance in time and society, the story's lost, and then there's pieces of it throughout, and pieces are lining up, and for me, it lined up. This was back in the winter right after the chest was found, December 12th, what 2020. But
Now,
yeah,
now, Kiwi, do you believe there's a GPS coordinates in the book?
of the thrill of the chase.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so. But I mean, so there's when Forrest said you don't need specialized knowledge. For me, that means I'm just reading a book and a poem and trying to match up stories to a poem. If I gotta start dissecting and changing things and trying to
Right.
break it down to see if there's a hidden message somewhere, then to me that's starting to become specialized knowledge. I mean, people who are knowledgeable in codes and ciphers and whatnots, then yeah, anagram and words and whatnot.
Yeah, because then he say you don't have to anagram or decipher anything.
That I can not ever confirm nor deny anything Forrest has said unless I'm listening to Forrest say it, and that would be pre find of the chest, because now, especially
I
with that
think Jenny
AI,
Kyle.
people do
I
all
think it
kinds of
was on
things.
right. I think it was on Jenny Kyle's site.
Huh. But I mean, I've
You-
listened to a lot of his videos and stuff. Forrest talking, but
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I think I read something before. Um, where's it at? Oh, do.
But yeah. So yeah, I got a bunch of D&D characters and I'm painting and giving away
Yeah, you're right.
throughout my
Like
lifetime.
you're right, Kiwi. He says, I don't know how top Tapan Tapan my whatever you're saying there can help you at all, Chris. I had to look that word up. But if I knew the geography location of each clue, it would be a map to the treasure. And that was in 2017. You should start with the first clue and follow the others consecutively to the treasure. Hints in the book are not that organized. Specifically says there, 2014. They're not organized, the hints.
Well, I mean, even in the book, he tells you that.
Mm-hmm.
There are also subtle, there's the page right across from the poem. There are also other subtle clues sprinkled in the stories.
Yeah.
So, I mean, clues to try to figure out the poem, words in the poem, what it could mean to Forrest. I mean, I would simply just stick to reading the story. What kind of clue would be in the story? And I guess if people are breaking down to, I mean, that's talent right there. Talent. Because I mean, the only person who knows if there were GPS solve in the book would be Forrest,
Yeah.
and I don't think I heard Forrest say, "Well, there's a GPS location in the book." That'd be a lot of, to me, specialized knowledge, breaking it down, trying to figure out digits out of words.
And you're right, Kiwi, because I mean it's the same thing with the fucking second poem bullshit that keeps bringing fucking up. When all Forrest said was read me the poem, not read me a second poem.
Did the
Even
did the 9 clues exist when you were a kid? The clues did not exist when I was a kid. But most of the places the clues refer to did. I think they might still exist in 100 years, but the geography keeps talking about that geography.
yeah,
Probably
Might
will
change.
change. Yeah, that's all he's talking. So everything's off geography.
pretty
And
much. I
all
mean,
geography.
Yeah,
And he's
pretty much
speaking
that's
that.
what he's saying. Yeah, he's
I
speaking
think
that. This is
yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
specified because he's like some of them were like physical clues and the rest were like what geographical clues or something like that.
yeah, yeah. There are a few words in the poem that are not useful in finding the treasure, but it is risky to discount any of them. You oversimplify the clues. There are many places in the Rocky Mountains where warm waters halt, and nearly all of them are north of Santa Fe. Look at the big picture. There are no shortcuts.
yeah. You're looking at the big picture of Forrest Fenn's life, his lifeline.
Yeah,
Um, and think of like a cartographer. I mean, they're using land features to help map out the journey, and I think that's
right.
kind of what Forrest Fenn was
Yeah,
doing.
you're exactly right.
Was using
Here.
the geography from when he
Yep,
was a
and that's
kid
it.
and started laying out a map. And
Yeah, and then like here's what you were saying before. Some searchers overrate the complexity of the search. Knowing about the head pressures, foot pounds, acre feet, Bible verses, Latin, cubic inches, icons, fonts, charts, graphs, formulas, curved lines, magnetic variation, codes, depth meters, riddles, drones, or ciphers will not assist anyone to the treasure location. Although those things have been offered as positive solution, excellent research materials are TTOTC, Google Earth, and or a good map.
So let
And
me
that's
ask you
from
all.
Forrest?
Let me ask you. Sorry, go ahead.
And that's from Forrest wrote that? Or
Yep.
somebody wrote that for him?
No, that's from Forrest specifically.
That
I
cuts
think
out a
his
lot
good
of stuff.
I think his good map was the one referenced in TTOTC with the wood chip looking frog on the page. I forget what page it is.
Oh,
Would
go ahead.
you all consider? Would you all consider footprints of your life geography? Your footprints from the day you were born to present. Would
Metaphorically
you all
speaking, yes.
consider that geography?
Metaphorically speaking, yes, but physically, no.
But it's a physical act of walking. You're actually out there.
Metaphorically
Yeah.
speaking, not physically.
No, physically. Physically, where you have walked would be geographical locations that you've been.
Yep.
I would say that at the very least.
It's geographical
And
clues he
even
mentioned were clues that you can see while you were on the boots on the ground.
So on this one, can somebody explain to me? He says right after he said all that, he says all that will be needed are the clues, some resolve, a little imagination. Okay, so what technically, if you had to pick apart, what is he trying to say by some resolve?
Some resolution,
I mean,
pretty much
probably-
fixing all the issues with certain particular solutions and finding the right one.
He didn't say
that's
a map, did he? Did he say anything about a map in there?
No,
Yeah,
he
he did.
said
He said all you need is a good map.
it's a good map. He said you need a good map. You could use Google, good map, in the poem. Google Earth,
And or
good map.
and or Google. Well, then
So
again,
Wasn't his
well,
original quote with
I-
TTOTC, the thrill of the chase? Wasn't that his original answer without the other two?
So here's where I get a little conflicted because he responds to another one, okay? And if a person reads the poem over and over and are able to decipher the first few clues in the poem, but yet up here, remember he said drones or ciphers will not assist anyone. So why would he
Right.
say that in the poem about the poem?
Because deciphering is
He didn't.
to decrypt the poem and rip it apart and obviously figuring out the answers to the clues, which the clues are within the illustrations and text, as he said.
I would say it's probably a little bit more towards dissecting it and making and figuring how it works.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same thing I pretty much
What
said.
lines do you think? What lines of order? What lines would you follow and what lines would you ignore? You know, you discern and resolve that for yourself and put that in action and then go to wherever you feel that it was leading you. For me,
Okay.
and one of the biggest clues for me was the first stanza itself. I mean, because in order for me to go anywhere looking for something that a person left, his first clue is where he has been. So I can only go where he has been. I can go all over the Rocky Mountains all day long. That doesn't mean Forrest Fenn has been all over the Rocky Mountains.
And you're
In order
correct,
for
Kiwi,
me to
because
understand the first stanza, I have to then at least discern or decipher which stories in the thrill of the chase would bring me to the Rocky Mountains versus other stories that don't bring you to the Rocky Mountains, Texas, if that makes any sense.
So
Right.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
But
disagree. I'm agree and
What?
disagree with the Kiwi. So yes, obviously, trying to think what you said because I'm kind of a little bit sick, but yes, obviously deciphering the clues, and obviously using the illustrations and text, like I've said, and letting them, because like you said, I think it was you, Street, that said something about a journey, and the journey is a reference callback to when he went on the journey with Donnie Joe through the Pacific area, and you use the illustrations to help you figure out the 9 clues within the poem that are both physical clues and geographical clues.
I think it was definitely
Okay.
speaking metaphysically and physically.
But this one got my attention. I just like going back to the beginning. That's what I've been doing. A polite like email from Christy, who admits to being a desk person, prompts me to say that if you are walking long distances in search of the treasure, you're walking too far. 2016.
Like
What's your guys'
what
take on that? How long? How far do you think? I mean, literally. I mean, he said they're saying if you're a desk person, are you sitting at somewhere that close to it?
if you're a desk person?
Yeah, he said because he was talking about Christy. He got an email from Christy. So he responded to her on Jenny Kyle's.
Okay.
Who admits to who he said a polite like email from Christy, who admits to being a desk person at a desk, prompts me to say that if you are walking long distances in search of the treasure, you're walking too far. What would be
Wow.
considered too far?
Too far to walk.
Well, we know that. But what if you had to pick that what he was saying apart? What would it be? What would you guys interpret it as? There's
That
something
you gotta walk too far to find it. That you're not hiking miles out of your way to find something.
I
That
don't
it's
even. I would
relatively
say
close
it's
to your journey.
right. I would say, to me personally, I think it would be like a quarter mile, if that. What about you guys?
Yeah, or less.
Or less?
I mean, like Troy was saying, how thousands of people have been to Fenn Rock, and thousands of people have looked underneath Fenn Rock. But
Right.
it doesn't necessarily mean that 1,000 people looked 10 inches to the left of the rock, or 10 inches behind the rock, or 10 feet behind the rock. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you can't really, for me, distance, I would have taken Forrest's poem and his words saying that when you find the blaze, all you got to do is look right down because you'll know the blaze. That means you're not
Well, I
walking too far to
disagree
find that blaze.
because he did say that the blaze does not mean the treasure.
I didn't say the treasure was the blaze.
No, I'm just saying he's just repeating Forrest where he said that the treasure does not mean the blaze does not mean the treasure. In other words, the blaze doesn't help you find the treasure instantly, like as you're suggesting.
I see.
But Forrest never said there was multiple blazes, correct?
Correct? He said it was something that stuck out, didn't he?
That's the thing. A blaze can mean a million different things.
Exactly.
It's
I think it
only
was a
knowing
tree.
which one Forrest meant.
I think it was the tree on a hill that was not too far from the chest area, but
Well,
not
see
the
that.
chest being within the
But
chest
but
area.
but see, a stone would last longer than a tree, correct?
Right. And so that's why I started the Madison Project, was particular because of there's so many different blazes. If Madison River had a lightning struck tree that you could see from Fenn Rock, you should be able to see it in somebody's picture. You know what I mean? And so it's a reach out to whoever's got pictures of the Madison through their hunts, or even bystanders who's got pictures of it, because it makes a difference on the time frame and time play. It's like, okay, did that tree fall a year after Fenn had hit it? Was that tree even standing prior? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's when you do a time lapse of it, and that's what the Madison Project is using doing a time lapse of Fenn Rock and it should show everybody who's been around there, but in particular, the only things that would change are the trees, the way the water's flowing and the trees, whether they're standing and falling. People, is constantly changing with people, but through nature's not really going to change. Hence, that blaze makes me wonder how long has that tree been standing, and how long did it fall? Because when I look at some of those videos of people walking over that lightning struck tree, to see logs tumbled like that over each other, it's different years, different storms. You know what I mean?
But then my next question is to you. What if it has nothing to do with fishing?
I disagree.
Well, think
What?
about it. Because he's kind of telling you, new and old. Out with the old, in with the new.
Nope.
Well, I'm just
Like, what do you
saying,
mean?
like a lot of people believe it has to do with fishing. You know what I mean? Like it has to do with, where his favorite fishing spot is. What if it had nothing to do with that and it was something totally different? I'm just thinking
Well, I
outside
mean,
the box.
I
Instead
disagree.
of
it would
I
be
disagree.
each their own.
I disagree
right,
with
that's
you,
what
Greg.
I'm saying.
I'm gonna counter
What
argument.
well, you could counter. This is what I'm trying to say, Tyler. My whole point of what I'm getting at is nobody looks outside the box. Okay, I always look outside the secret garden. I just don't sit at the secret garden, even though it's a place that I want to go and rest my bones, and that's my favorite place. Okay, my whole point is I'm constantly looking at other places. Are you constantly looking at other places? Are you opening your mind to other locations and thinking, instead of just looking at, this is what I constantly do. Just because my secret garden is always going to be my secret garden, that's just my place. That's the place that I endear. My heart's there. I would rest my bones there. I think the chest was there. That's my opinion, okay, of where I think it is, okay, or where it was, or if it got pulled or whatever happened, okay? But I also look at other locations. In other locations, and I'm sitting there thinking, wow, this could work too. Wow, are we looking outside the box?
When it comes to fishing, have you ever heard the phrase "I'm fishing for information"? Yes, fishing is involved in that way, but actual like fishing
Right.
for fish with tackle and line, no.
Yeah.
No, I agree. No, has nothing to do with it. Fishing for information, yes.
I don't either. Right. Yeah, Dad, I see what you're saying, but I don't think the book, that's just my opinion on the research, the rabbit hole I'm going down right now. I don't think the book has anything to do with fishing. I think it was clues to find it somewhere else, but it would help a little bit, but it had nothing to do with fishing.
Here's how I would answer that question. Is the Thrill of the Chase is a book that has, we'll just call, and I'm just going to use numbers, a dozen stories, has one poem and one chest, and one person that's writing these stories. Now, you can call the book the box. When you start going outside, and I'm not discouraging anybody, everybody has their songs, their reasons, etc., etc. But for me personally, it comes down to, again, it's the placement of Forrest. So if you're going to places that Forrest Fenn outside the box has not talked about, meaning outside the book, then you're outside the box. And when he's saying,
Well, how
get
would you
back
know?
inside the
But how,
but when,
right. No, I see what
when
you're
he
thinking.
says get back into the box, you would know because Forrest Fenn wrote 1 to a dozen stories of where he has been in a general area versus outside the box in a place that is over in, I mean, hate to use the word, East Chuckafuck or Bumfuck Egypt. You know what I mean? Those are places that Forrest Fenn did not write and say I've been to. So when I hear get back in the box, I'm thinking, okay, if I'm searching over in uh Montana, you know what I mean? And
Right, but we know how big Rocky Mountains are, correct? Covers a vast majority of all 4 states going up from New Mexico up, okay? Correct? What I'm saying is looking at like I know when we're all stuck on ourselves, we're stuck on ourselves. But okay, like I said, why aren't we looking outside ourselves? Like what
right,
I'm doing.
so if you're looking for a spot that Forrest Fenn had been, laid a treasure down, and wanted to pass away in that general area, the only way I would know is by reading about it in here. That's the thrill of the chase, the book, the treasure hunt. Now, what people learn outside and what Forrest shares outside of this is all, to me, becomes more of a special knowledge. It's added knowledge. It's white noise compared to the black and white. Is, you know what I
Okay.
mean?
So
So
you're
back
saying you're
in
stuck. So you're stuck on your solve and you won't look outside any other solve is what you're saying.
that he hasn't talked about in that book, right?
But I'm not asking that.
I know.
I could take that book and I could make you end up where Troy's location is. I can make you end up where Tyler's location is. I can make you go.
Anybody
I
can
can make.
right.
Right. That's what I'm saying. All I'm asking you is a simple question. The question is, instead of thinking about your spot all the time, are you looking somewhere else?
Why, if I was looking for the chest, no. Why would I?
Okay,
Because the
so
only place I would be looking is where Forrest Fenn had been. And the only way I would know where Forrest Fenn has been is by reading his stories in the book.
well, the Rocky
So
Mountains, that means he
why would
covered
I
all the
go
Rocky Mountains. That means he's covered Rocky Mountains from head to toe.
and yeah, I'll give you that. Highways when he's traveling from Yellowstone to
Yeah, I mean
the
Colorado,
main
Montana,
roadway.
Wyoming. I
So
mean, but
he hit it anywhere along the roadway within
but
500 to 200 feet.
but you understand what I'm saying, right? I was saying in my last show, I was just saying like people are just when they get stuck on their solve, there's no changing them. I'm not here to change anybody. I know we're not going to change on ourselves. None of us will. Okay. It will never happen. What I'm saying is nobody's doing other stuff besides going to look other areas just for fun. Even if it's a venture, because remember Forrest said, get off our asses, get your kids
Well,
off
how do
the,
you
you know,
know other people aren't? I mean, I just literally shared, 4 different adventures that's going on
well, I
just
missed
with me and
that. I
Kiwi.
missed
You know what I
that.
mean?
Well, I
I
missed
mean,
that.
I hear other YouTubers out there on their different adventures. I mean, you got people that are moving constantly. It's sad. People, you got people out there who are losing friends and relatives. I mean, but they're still doing other things to time consume.
And
And
isn't it
so
good?
I would have to kind of disagree that you're saying nobody's doing anything, that you're the only one. I mean, I would have to
No, I didn't
disagree
say
with that
that.
statement.
No, I'm not saying I'm not the only one. It's probably just coming out wrong, you know?
But what you're doing is, I see some ups and downs. The whole domain thing is, I would say, kind of weird, but hey, to each their own. Whatever floats your boat. Awesome. I already told you. I'll give you a goose egg for mine. I'll give you a goose egg for mine. But the idea of what Troy was suggesting with the Fenn estate or the Fenn Trust, or even with Shiloh, I mean, if a person wanted to make profit, easily could do that. But if somebody wanted to inspire and change people's minds about life and history, that is by all means your great A gravy right there. And with the what Forrest Fenn had, it's a story that it can be carried beyond the thrill of the chase by what we've talked about, how you, you you've pulled resources without people even knowing. They're coming up with all these different ideas, like you, where you're outside the box. That things that line up. You know what I mean? For you, everybody has their own special way, and to be able to have a joint area where people can hunt history and learn about different things in a positive atmosphere, I think is a good thing. Now, whether
Oh
that
yeah, yeah.
happens or not,
We got your bird that could spy on people. We got Street that'll just drive up to somebody's driveway. We got Big Rod that'll just tell him to go f off, and we got Tyler. He'll just go crazy and butt naked in the woods.
but I mean, it's Forrest Fenn wrote a book, and it created inspiration and hope in me. What you're talking about doing yourself is something that should inspire and create hope in others. That possibility of being able, if you're doing what I think you're talking about doing, and I don't know. But anyway, so I'll change the subject. It's like Shiloh and his family did something like that to help inspire and keep it going. That's beyond a legacy, because you're living every day still with somebody like Forrest by excavating and learning different people's backgrounds and lifestyles and different things about different religions and spiritualities. The metaphysical and the physical will merge in a more, hopefully, cohesive way in nature, versus in the digital world. But I
Well,
mean,
you know what I call Kiwi? I call it a love and hate relationship with Forrest. I hate him some days, I love him some days, and I hate him so. That's what I call that.
then that would be a good thing. If you're recognizing those things, and it's, you know,
Sometimes Two Book Greg just wants to throw his two books out the fucking window. Street, what do you guys
well,
say?
Can you unread anything? Just like, can you unwrite anything? No, you can't.
No, you can't
The
unsee anything either.
Right. That's where I was going next.
Yeah,
It's quite
yeah.
obvious at this point, 3 years, and there's more questions and literally no answers. It's all speculation and assumption. I think that's driving the point to me. That's overemphasizing. It wasn't about the freaking treasure. It was about the answer. That his special spot is special, very special, as he said, very special for a reason. Therefore, the answer to and where it's at and everything it represents is what I'm searching for. It was what I was searching for. I wasn't looking for a 10 by 10 by 6-inch square. I was looking for the answer, his very special spot. And I continue. I've never stopped. I'm still looking for it, metaphorically and physically. Physically, my days are when I'm on the chase, I call it. Physically, my actions and the things I do is accompanying my the metaphorically. So it is hand in hand for me. I'll put it this way. When we were young, a dream. I still dream. I still have dreams. No matter what it is, it's my dream. It's mine. I own it, man. So, back in the day, when I was young, I used to dream, I wish I could fly. Well, that didn't work out. And then I found weed and I'm thinking, shit, this is the next best thing, man. Nice. What's that? Samurai?
Well, I'm trying to get the folks in. No, it's a night. That camera's just being dumb as hell.
Okay, I can
I
see
know it
the
works
helmet
better
now.
when I flip it over the camera.
Is it
But
pewter?
it's all fuzzy. Either pewter or lead. So this is 1980. It's made in 1980. Dungeons and Dragons guy. This will probably be the first one that I should put it up as the first one to be given away. Hey, there you go. But don't do it any justice from that far away. But yeah, he's sitting there, got his shield up and his sword ready to fight, And sometimes we got to find it in ourselves to do that, even for ourselves to stand up and fight, because we're the only ones that's going to do it. And the Forrest fan has definitely helped with the mental health aspect of life that a lot of people don't talk about. And I've seen it
Except for the
positive
5% that are just crazy.
well, then I'm
Or
5% too.
yeah. Except for the 5% that are just out blatantly crazy. I mean, literally crazy. Hey, Street, you like those emails, didn't you?
Which
The other
Which
day.
ones? The recent ones?
Yeah, the recent ones from Ralph.
I don't think I'm on that loop, whatever that group is or
Oh,
whatever.
you weren't on that loop? I thought you
I
were.
don't. Well, I got several different emails. I'll have to check all of them. The one I got on my phone active, I never got anything.
Yeah, so Ralph's on a rampage. He was
Wow.
he was Ralph, the one that's always I'm gonna fuck you all up, I'm gonna blow your heads off for everything. He's on a rampage. Yeah, he sent a nasty email saying, "Oh, fuck you up, girl." I said, you know what? I'm waiting. I know where you live. You don't know where I live, buddy. Let's go. He just,
There's stuff like that. It's like why
it's childish.
why are people's schoolyard mentality?
Well,
If
hey,
if
I
you
understand people are pissed off because they think they're entitled to it. Okay, we all, in some kind of way, we can sit there and say we're not. A little bit, we're kind of hurt of how it all ended. But at the end of the day, you don't need to get that mean because you think they pulled it on you or you think you were cheated out of it. You don't need to go around saying you're going to blow people's heads off or you're going to take a shotgun and fucking kill them all. And I don't even say shit like that. I got the most controversial channel. I'll say some shit, but I don't do shit like that. I just don't.
in my opinion, anyone in the world, of my experience in life, 60 years walking this planet, anyone that has to use or threaten to use physical violence in order to get you to believe them knows down deep in their heart they're not right. So they'll beat and put people into submission just so they can
Yeah.
it justifies them. That's my experience.
Yeah,
And
I would have
Leslie,
to
I'm not
totally agree with that 100%.
well, I'm not talking like if you're mugged or something. No, physical violence. There is time for physical violence, but to get your point across to like because someone's
Again,
disagreeing, no, that's ridiculous, man.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a civilized society. Someone disagrees with you, you want to kill them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know what to say to that.
well,
I think it's funny. I think it's funny to tell you the truth.
like Street was saying and I don't know that person or whatever, but I mean, I have other YouTube channels I've seen, a trend, and it's You know, there's that saying, you get more with sugar and honey than with vinegar and piss. And yeah, it's what, to the point do you have to go negative to try to get somebody to believe or listen to you? I mean, your actions should speak louder than words, we would hope. I mean, that isn't that like one of the life lessons that we're taught as a kid? I mean, your actions speak louder than words. So I mean, it's easy to talk than walk the walk, you know. I'm far from it. I mean, I'm a lot of talking. A lot of talking. Oh, I got something with it. What is that? Look like something's lying on my face or something. Maybe it's just my hair. I don't know. Like a weird 5 o'clock shadow going on or something. Isn't it? It's weird. Oh, bad shaving day is what it is. But anyway, it's and there's other channels out there that are doing good things, you know, for charities and whatnot. So you, you you can't go wrong with that. But yeah, more flies than uh than maggots.
Well, hopefully soon we'll find out here. He's got until December 15th, so we'll hopefully know something. If it's epic or not.
What do you mean? Who's got what? Why are you placing a deadline on somebody else?
Well,
You can't
that's what.
control somebody else's actions and stuff. People have the right to change their mind for any good reason for whatsoever.
Oh,
So,
you're saying
what
Shiloh?
do you, no, I'm talking out in defense to whoever you're saying, whoever needs to do something by December 15th or something's going to
I'm
happen.
saying
Whoever that is, I'm
Shiloh.
saying, how can you put
Shiloh already.
restrictions on people?
Well, I mean, I'm not putting restrictions. I mean, it's been over 3 years. I mean, there should have been
And
restrictions the first year. I mean, think
I
about
totally
that
agree
one.
what's
with
going to happen if it goes 4 years, 5 years, 6 years? I
Okay,
mean,
so
the
so,
but
so,
I,
so
the chase is over
what,
as
Rob?
yeah, but
far
I
as
totally
finding
agree.
a chest, you know?
I totally agree with Greg. Enough is enough already. What are we
Yeah,
going to do?
enough is
I mean,
enough.
enough is
Enough
enough.
is enough.
People, we're talking about
Oh,
3
so,
years, Kiwi, not 3 months. It's not a 3 month thing. It's been 3 years.
okay,
I mean, it's not.
devil's
It's not.
advocate.
It's just. This is
Devil's
supposed to have
advocate.
been a fun chase. It's supposed to be fun, first of all. That's what it comes
Right,
down with fun. Okay.
right.
And when you keep if you keep leaving the carrot on, people are going to start getting pissed off. I mean, it's not fair. It's not right. If the family talks to whoever they want, that's fine. But this wasn't a 3 ring circus. This was supposed to have been a 300,000 circuits people. So I mean, people had enough of this. The game's got to stop already. If it's for the fucking money, just say it's for the money already. It has to stop. And this is why we got chaos, because we don't have answers. Nothing. Zippo.
That's right. I mean, I believe
But
you on that one, Rob.
everybody wants a different answer. And not everybody's going to get the answer that they want or that they're looking for.
No,
So,
what we got is a lot of bullshit. There's got to be one answer and one answer only. Right now, we
and
have
what's that?
tons of answers that are bullshit.
So
The
then
whole
what's the one answer
the
that
9 mile.
people are looking for?
They want answers for you just agree whatever they're throwing at you. That's what usually people do. They just throw shit at you, and if you say yes to it, then they're okay with it. The hardest part is saying no. That's the hardest part.
Keep questioning.
All right, so Kiwi, here's my thing, my philosophy on the thing right now. Okay, I'm waiting just like everybody is patiently. Okay, but when I have Jack over there stating that he picked up things off the logs in 2000, what, 18, 19 at a location, okay? And then he took the fake blaze, okay? First of all, it don't take 3 years to show everybody what he grabbed off of all the trees or even pictures, okay? And now, if they're using it for a Netflix deal or a book deal, that's fine. To put in the pictures, I would completely agree with that if they're doing that. I have no disagreement. But you better come up with everything you grabbed for the last 4 years that you claim you had, you better show receipts of where you stayed in 2020. You better show gas receipts. You better show your trip from all the way down from Yellowstone to Santa Fe. And there better be documentation. That would be the only way that I would believe Jack. That's just my opinion. That's me. That's my
But
opinion on it.
why would you want to believe them?
That would be the only way that I would actually believe that he was there and that it happened. If he had all that evidence and then he said, here's the 9 clues. If he doesn't have one bit of those evidence or any of that, I think, me personally, I won't believe a fucking thing that comes out of Jack's mouth.
Okay,
Well,
so
here's
then
here's
just
the
assume
issue.
it the worst and don't believe anything. I mean, I have a hard time trusting people.
Yeah,
Trust
I know what you mean.
a very, very rare commodity. So I trust no one. I mean, I got a handful of people I trust, and I will trust them with my life. But you
Forrest
can't.
said if it didn't come out of my mouth, more than likely it's not true. So how could I somebody else's word when Forrest said the man is so? If it didn't come out of my mouth, mostly it's not true. It's probably not true.
Okay, so
So
Rob,
think
about it, yeah.
well, Rob, that's a good one. So I like what you said, Rob. So I like that because think of it. I mean, I'm just throwing up a theory, and Rob said it exactly. So how are we supposed to believe that email came from Forrest because it didn't come out of his
You
mouth?
can't believe it. You can't. It didn't come. The
Right,
man said
exactly.
it
So
didn't-
everything
if
that it
didn't
ended,
come from me.
yeah. So everything that it ended,
Forrest stated
we
if it
never
didn't
seen
come-
Forrest.
If it didn't come from me, he never said it. So if there's a video of Forrest Fenn of 9 Mile Hole, it's probably not fucking true because if Forrest didn't do it himself, like I would think how he's stating it, it's probably not true. So whatever hearsay we got is we're going on hearsay, and if it fits your hearsay, people are going to agree with it. That's all it is. You got to.
He's coming
If you
with the
got enough,
army.
if you got enough people like me, you could tell me 1,000 times that this is it. I need you to prove to me, on the shadow of the doubt, that it's what really happened. We will never know the real truth behind all this because the man that created it is gone, no matter what. So everything else right now is based on hearsay.
Yeah.
I sometimes think in the back of my head, and it's just me, you know what I mean? I sometimes think, like I said, I sometimes think in the back of my head that chest, okay, like everybody claims it's fake or whatever, they're going to believe what they want. But sometimes I think that if the family didn't like what he was doing, like they always claim, and then all of a sudden they know, or they don't know, it's most of the time we're hearing stuff from third party with no actual facts. That's the bottom line. We're hearing everything from third.
Well, if the family want nothing to do with the chase or anything that their grandfather did, why did they get a Netflix then if you never wanted to get involved in the first place? So there's got to be a motive. There's a motive. If you want nothing to do with this 10 years ago, why do you want something to do with it now?
Right.
I mean, it could be as simple as maybe just Shiloh and Zoe and Kelly want those soldiers to leave them alone. I mean,
you can't cry wolf that all this shit's happening to you, and then next minute go on Netflix and want to tell the story when you said you didn't want to get involved in the first place. So why the fuck are you getting involved?
Maybe he changed his mind. She changed his mind. She changed her mind.
Well, if you're gonna,
whoever they did might have changed their mind.
If you're gonna change your mind, come out and say, you know what, I do change my mind. At least come out and be a man or a woman and say, I changed my mind. I think this is a good thing that we could do as
right, Rob, and don't go through assholes like Ben and other people that are crooked.
Third-party bullshit.
In my opinion,
it is.
Well, here's the issue I see.
Well, Street,
Jack,
you know how Ben
Jack,
was.
now hold on, Jack. 3 years ago, Forrest told He wants to stay anonymous. And then he came out and he said, basically, I'm not telling you where it's at. I'm not giving you the answer. So then legally, there's nothing, no one in this world can make him. You cannot legally make him give answers. He's already indicated, I'm not giving you the answer to the poem. So why is everyone still consumed with trying to badger? If Jack won't give it, well, we'll go to Shiloh because he said this is, I just don't get it, man.
I don't think Tyler knows. I don't think Tyler knows. I think Forrest, like Forrest said, he wouldn't tell his own mother, so he wouldn't tell anybody. I don't care family or not. He wouldn't even tell his family if where he put it. Because
yeah, but you also you're Rob. You also have that article from the woman that was in the kitchen, the one where her husband died, and she was in the kitchen with Forrest, and she clearly stated that she heard Peggy on the phone, or Peggy. I don't know if it was Peggy on the phone or in the background, but she clearly stated Peggy said she's looking in the wrong area.
Well, once again, if Forrest indicated, and I have to go unless proven different, it's
right,
a fact.
Exactly.
He clearly stated, I told no one. I didn't even tell my own mother. Peggy don't know. He was asked that. So that could have been Peggy, like maybe encouraging. I'm just throwing this out there. It could have been Peggy encouraging someone she felt sorry. Who knows? But it didn't come. Now, if Forrest had said it, then I'd still have to question. This is hearsay, third party. You know, what is her? Yeah, you still can't. I mean, come on. Look, we could have audio, video, and everything of Forrest saying the 9 clues. I guarantee you, people say, "Oh no, man, it was fake. It's not fact."
Yeah.
Which,
well, it's going to.
I mean, come on. You get what I'm saying. It's
at the end of the day, no matter what they release, I think it's going to be a 50-50. Flip the coin up, see what happens. That's what's going to happen.
I used to joke around and didn't want to break people's spirit, but we've been into this 3 years now, post fine. The answer is not going to come out. It's very clear. Forrest never gave it, said it was a solver. Solver ain't willing, Jack, whoever ain't willing to give it, or they would have already. So it's quite obvious we're left to our own devices when it comes to the answer. But we can
we'll never find out.
We can dream and fantasize. Yeah, we can dream and fantasize of what might be his legacy, because once again, I don't believe that lore was his legacy. I don't believe that.
And I think you're right, Street. And I think there's things out there to be found. I really do. I believe he had some secret shit. His family has no clue where they're at. Nobody knows what he has out there. Like, you know, he still has olive jars from what I understand out there. He's got bells out there. There are things still out there that people have no clue. Nobody knows what he really hid out there. All they know is about the chest and supposedly the bells and certain things. He even claimed he walked thousands upon thousands of miles in the mountains, okay? Going nowhere. Just exploring. He could have went off a path, fucking just put something in the dirt underground, and that's it. Nobody would know.
Well, could you imagine? Could you imagine being a career pilot and then having your license and flying New Mexico, Arizona, and spotting out foundations and stuff, GPSing it, and then go back and like looking for stuff? Hell, that's a hell of a thrill, man.
That's what the drone's for. That way, I don't have to walk so far.
Yeah, well, it can be accomplished that way for sure. But think about it. In what was it, 70s he was doing that? Even before that.
How far do drones fly?
Depending on the drone. Depends on the drone.
If I get like a $500 or $800 drone, how far will that sucker go?
Probably you'll get two 30-minute batteries with it. Probably 30 minutes per battery.
But will it go a mile?
From the controller, I think like 10,000 feet for that price range, about 10,000 feet away. You can follow it, like walking.
Dude, so I was flying my drone the other day.
2 miles.
What's that?
What?
Well, you said 10,000 feet, right? You could go up to, right?
Yeah, I was looking at one for about 4 something with the 2 batteries and all that, and it had
the miles. You said over 10,000 miles, correct?
Well,
I mean,
10,000 feet is what?
feet, I'm sorry, 10,000. So that'd be,
Yep.
well, there's 5,280 feet to a mile, so you could go 2 miles with it.
Yeah, yeah, almost 2 miles, man. And that's just like a 400. Then that's below the class that you have to register with the FAA because it goes by weight. If you
What do
get
you
like
mean?
you can, there's sizes. There's sizes
What?
of drones, like
Yeah.
weight wise. If you get one over a certain weight, it can go higher, fly longer, and I guess because of its weight and its capabilities, you have to register it with the FAA and give them a flight plan, just like pilots, of where you plan on going, and they'll let you, and there's like no fly zones, fly zones. I always go
No.
for the
Are you
under.
serious?
Yes,
Yep.
I
Yeah,
always
there is.
I
Yeah.
I always get the drones that's under the FAA where I don't have to register. I don't want to register.
So
That's too
Walmart
much hassle.
ones are under FAA, right? The ones you buy from Walmart?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not supporting any particular brand or anything, but I have the DJI Mini Pro 3, and I think it ran me about 1,300 with the extra batteries, and I've so far have been truly impressed with it, except for a couple times. But I mean, overall picture clarity and everything. I mean, I wish it pound in a sense, but
What's your fly time for one battery in it? Or does it take one or two batteries?
it takes one. It's about 30 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. That's where
And
the price range I was looking at, like in between 3 and 6. It seemed like 30 minutes, an hour, but you only got like 30 minutes per battery was pretty much standard for that price range.
So
And it's
technically,
also,
so they go 2 miles? Is that what you're saying, Kiwi?
well, I mean, they depends. I mean, if you have clear line of sight, you're higher above your drone. I mean, it depends on the make and model of who you. But this one, I didn't look at the flight distance, but I had the home point, and then we had hopped in the side by side and just took off, and I was following for like a good 15 minutes, and I didn't. But all of a sudden, we happened to stop, and the drone just wouldn't follow me anymore, and I could fly backwards and I could fly sideways, but I just couldn't go forward anymore. And I noticed on the screen it sat there and said that the flight distance has reached its maximum from the home point. So, I mean, it all depends on how you're flying and which manner you're flying it in. What's the question?
No, I'm just wondering. So if I get a $500 to $800 drone, is that good enough for me?
Well,
Just to have fun with it.
if you
I
haven't
don't need
flown a
nothing
drone,
special.
I'd go cheap with like a $50 Home Depot drone and go that way first and practice. But I mean,
Why,
yeah,
are they
I mean,
that
it all
hard?
depends. Well, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, you got to figure that you're taking yourself from one perspective and putting yourself in a totally different perspective when you're flying a drone. You have to have such a higher situational awareness. I mean, you got to know where your trees are, where your power lines are, where your aircraft are, as if you're an actual pilot. And that's one of the reasons why they have them. You know, we've got to start registering them over different size for FAA because you're starting to get into those types of situations. But I mean, it's like playing a video game. I mean, I've set mine up so that I fly it the way I play my video games because that perspective, I understand it and I see it.
So technically what you're saying is you put it in front of your eyes and then you use a remote control?
Well, I mean,
Like a 3D,
no.
you see what I'm saying?
Well, in my mind's eye, yes, I'm trying to fly that drone as if I can see everything around that drone, even though I'm not there and all I got is a small screen.
Right.
But I mean, I have a small screen. There's some drones that you can fly with the virtual reality goggles. So I mean, it all depends on how well you can handle and maneuver drones and stuff. I mean, it's something you learn. And I started cheap too myself. crashed several times. I've lost it, so it's like, but I've learned to fly in more open areas than closed areas, or at least be high above closed areas so I can have a better line of sight, more transmissibility. I mean, because some of them are flying off of Wi-Fi and GPS, so it all depends on what you get, and that's why I was saying for $1,300 the one I got. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like it.
Yeah,
It's
I'm just
done.
gonna. I just need one that goes a mile or two. Just a nice,
Yeah.
One. I'll get one from
There
Walmart, $300 to $800. Give me a
you
nice
go.
one that goes a mile to 2 miles. A nice one, for three. Like I said, Walmart's got nice ones for $300, $400, $600. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
And I
If
don't
you don't
need a
mind losing
license
it,
for
that's
that,
the
right?
thing is, depends on the weight size. And I don't know what the weight size is, but I think you have to be like under, I want to say 249. The 249 is on the battery. So I don't know what the drone So you'd have to look that up yourself.
Well, doesn't it say it right when you buy it? Like you have to register it when it say it on the box?
Might. I don't know. I haven't gone looking.
Okay.
Just spend a little bit of time on Amazon and search up like you could do the filter with price range, and then
Right.
you get into like what you're looking for. 10,000, 2 mile from home, or some of them have already pre-programmed flight patterns like spins, and I mean it
Yeah.
all. Yeah, I think Follow Me is I think it's standard on all of them. Well, not all of them, but like the 100 or more.
Well,
The
when you
Follow Me
talk about
button.
the flight pattern, what you're saying, you could go to a spot that you already went before and it'll fly that flight pattern?
I bought $150 one off Amazon, a Hollystone, and it was like the one of the cheapest they had, and I could pre-program. I like every time I'd fly it, you have to calibrate the gyro and calibrate the compass, and then once everything, you're the screen and your phone's the screen. It's a little controller. Long story short, when everything's set up, you can go in beforehand or during and like have a map, pull up a GPS of where you're at, and put a flight pattern, how high you want to go, the distance, and do like squares, circles, grids, and then you push a button, and that was $150 one. Start out with like 100. Go to Amazon and look for like $150, $200 one, and look in the description of what it can do, the capabilities, flight, battery, how many batteries you get, blah blah blah.
How much
For
are the
about
batteries separate? A lot?
nah, like 25, $30 maybe for
Gotcha.
the price range I'm talking about, the little ones. It all depends. Just play around on Amazon, you'll get a feel of what their capabilities and all that is. But I think it's pretty much standard that anyone that has a GPS and a camera, you can do preset flight patterns, man.
Cool. Yeah, because I want to get one so bad before I go down to New Mexico again in October.
I'm sure Kiwi that I guarantee the $1,300 what Kiwi's talking about, it has that same thing. If you can log in with a camera and or GPS, yeah, you can do the pre-flight
But
patterns
he
or
has to
whatever.
register his, doesn't he?
No,
I don't.
because it's under the weight class, like Street was
Yeah,
saying.
Gotcha.
yeah. There's another point. I had $150 one, and it was under it. Kiwi bought a $1,300, and it was still under. So, like, I mean, I think they have them out there. I've seen some on TV. They're freaking huge, man. They're like $25,000, $30,000 for these. They do lidar and flare and you name it, man. You can hook up. You can carry like amount of weight, like cargo. You can spend a lot of money on these things.
I know.
Here's the thing with the weight, Greg. It's stability of camera. If you're like videotaping, you want stability. And hell, with a 2 mile per hour wind, my little thing, I was battling it. Like you had to battle it, if there was a headwind of 2-3 miles, oh yeah, you got to push that throttle, man. And
Right, because it's
lean
so
into
light.
it.
Because it's
Yeah,
so light.
yeah,
I wonder
yeah.
if I can- let me try something. Oh,
Kiwi.
Hey, you
Hell,
know what you guys need? You know what you need to do next time? Somebody needs to do this for fun. I just thought of this right now, Street. You need to take your phone and put it on top of your drone and fly it live.
here's I'm going to show you.
Oh, has
on
anybody
the-
ever done it, Street? I have never seen anybody do that.
Because it would fly off if you put it on the top of the drone.
No, you
Uh,
Well,
can
you,
tape it
you
to the ground.
changed the aerodynamics and everything. I didn't want
Yeah.
that
yeah. It
when
wouldn't.
you're adding weight and stuff like that.
What, it
You'd
don't
have
have
to
something
get-
you can put underneath it to hold it or anything? Like you can't put anything?
Get it
Well,
on my map.
It's like Kiwi
Depending
was
on the
saying.
drone you get.
When you calibrate the gyros and the compass, it's all it's all pre-programmed with the weight. I mean, if you add, I imagine if you get a powerful enough, like I said, they make them that you can carry payloads, man. Some
No,
of
that's
them,
what I'm saying.
I think you could link. If I'm not mistaken, I was looking at one, and it was like the same price range between 4 and 6, and you could link up and go live, like onto a laptop or something.
That's what
So
I'm
like,
saying. I go live,
Um,
and then you got to do it live right on YouTube while you're talking to somebody
Yeah,
in
well,
an
you don't need
area.
a phone then. You don't need a
I
phone
wonder
then
if
to
mine
just
does
go.
that. I'll have to look into it. I'm looking for
Well-
one of my drone shots that I did while I was on the East Coast.
I mean, that would be fun. Like do some live shows when we're out searching or just going somewhere for fun on vacation, and you put the phone up and you go live on YouTube, and you're sitting there just
Right,
scouring the
just-
whole place.
Greg, just go on an air balloon, bro, and just go with it.
Yeah, there goes my phone. See you later. that
Yeah.
would be
Take
some
an
fun
air
shit.
balloon. Take an air
I-
balloon from fucking Ohio all the way to New Mexico.
I did once I was comfortable flying it after, about a month or two, I was pretty comfortable flying it. I put some fishing line and a hook on it and some bait and put it over lakes. I did do that. I'm glad I didn't like actually catch something, man. It would have big old bass would have took it under probably.
All right, so here's the next question for you.
That'd be funny.
So
but
what's the joysticks? So the left one and the right one. What, you know what I mean?
Left is
How
up
does
and
it work?
down. Left is up and down. Right is directional flight path.
What? So left joysticks for up and down.
Yep, up and down, and you can like if you're stable, like you're flying up, and you're pushing the left joystick, and you're just going straight up. Once you get up, you can rotate that joystick around, and it pans the camera around.
nice.
Okay.
And then the right joystick, it's an art to it. There's like
Yeah.
there's the professional move. You can get like 2 moves at once. You're going up and back. Those are easy. But when you incorporate a next move like up, back, and rotate the flight pattern, the camera, then you got 3, what they call it, 3 axes, Kiwi. They got a phrase for it.
What do you
Yeah.
mean by that? I don't understand what you're saying by that one.
You talking about the
You
gyros?
Yeah.
So what are you
Yeah.
saying about that one?
Like a gyro, like Kiwi just said, it's an axis. So like the going up is considered an axis because you're making it the flight pattern go up, and at the same time you're pulling the joystick back in direction. That's 2 different axes. It's going up and back. Now, if you go up, back, and rotate the camera, which means you have to, like, you can pan the camera up and down, but to rotate it left and right on majority of this price range, you got to turn the drone to turn the camera left to right. You know what I?
So
you understand
what joystick turns the camera though?
Well, the up and down, the left joystick when you rotate the direction of the
Drone.
like, yeah. Like
So
if you're going if you're pushing on the joystick straight up on the left, that means it's going up. And if on the right joystick, you're pulling it all the way back, it's going up and back away from you. Now, to rotate the camera, you're still holding the back end on the right. The left, you're pushing straight up, but you start like rotating it a little bit to the left or right, and it'll pan the camera. You see what I mean?
Yeah, kind of turning it. You're just turning the device for the camera, or does the camera
you're
turn?
rotating it. Yeah, you're rotating like a joystick, basically.
Right,
There's
no,
another
I understand that, but is there a joystick just to turn the camera instead of the whole?
Go into
whole
go into the descriptions of the drones you're looking at. Some of them you can pan the camera up and down and rotate it around without doing.
That's what I was
words,
asking. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are, but they're probably getting pretty expensive because now you got
The one
another
I have,
measure.
you can rotate the camera up and down, and it does a 180, so it can go all the way up and all the way down. But it doesn't.
Yeah.
But I use the drone and I turn right when I want to go right and see right.
Yep. Yeah, Greg, you're talking about like if you're just hovering straight on
Right.
is there a joystick that the camera will sit there and rotate underneath the drone?
Correct.
I'm
That's
sure, but they're probably expensive.
Right. It'd be like a third joystick where it just turns the camera any way you want, instead of turning the whole drone to where you want to zoom in on. Because that's what you're doing. That's what you're telling me, right? You have to turn the drone. The way the camera is facing, you have to turn it. Even though the camera will turn a little bit, it's not going to be one of those major ones that go 360 degrees or whatever, or up and down.
This is another axis. When Kiwi said it's a 180 axis, that means straight on. If you're looking straight out, the drone is flying level with the horizon. The camera will go straight out and pan straight down underneath it. That's it. That's 180. That's the axis it does. You know what I mean?
You don't get a left. You don't get a left.
No.
You don't get a right.
Right. I see what you're saying. It either looks straight and it goes at an angle going down.
Yes. Yeah. Like tunnel vision, basically.
Right.
Yeah, like tunnel vision.
It won't look left. It won't look right, and it won't look behind you. It's just straight and down.
Because then you gotta add a 120 on each side, then you get a 360 if you add the 120.
And then you gotta turn the drone the way you want it to face the camera. Like if you want to look in a certain area and you got it facing straight down, you just need to go. So when you have it facing straight down, you could hover over anything. But if you have it straight forward,
but you're just gonna get that 180 in front of you. That's it. And you better be in the right spot that you want to be at.
Yeah.
Make sure you write that onto that spot you want to be at, because if not, you're gonna have to come all the way back and do it again.
Picture the drone as you, Greg. It's you. The camera is your.
Say that again, Street.
Picture the drone. The camera is you. That's your head. Now you can look up and down, but to turn and look like all the way around, you got to turn your body. That's all.
Correct.
That's how you overcome the disconnect of like staring at the screen. You don't even have to look at the drone. I usually look at it when it first takes off and then goes. And like, if I'm saying hover, I'll kind of look around, if there's any birds, I'll fly towards them and like try to hang out or whatever. You really don't have to look at it. I didn't like looking at the drone and then like both back and forth the screen.
Okay.
It like disconnects. It disconnected me. I just stare. I'd make sure it's up where I want it, about height, and then do what I was going to do on the screen. You'll get the hang of it.
I would do.
The drone's you.
And that's that situational awareness that you learn to gain when you're learning to fly. Because, like I said, you got to know your trees, where the branches are, power lines, how close you're to the buildings, how far off the ground you are. I mean, like Street says, you have to detach from your perspective of where you're at. You're now this eye in the sky that's moving around and how you want it to move.
Well, I'll give you an example. If I was going to shoot like a woods and I was maybe 100 yards away from it, and I knew they were like maybe 7,500 foot elms, I would fly it up right where I'm at, basically right in front of me, above me, and like slowly edge towards the woods. And I'm telling you, if you look at the sky at your drone, it's like, oh yeah, it'll clear it. Look down at your screen, it's like, oh shit, I'm heading right towards them.
Yeah.
Yeah, just stare at the screen.
Right.
Actually, mine had altitude, speed. Mine had all that little readout on the app on my phone. It had all that shit. Told me direction.
Does it tell you like if you're getting does it tell you if you're getting too close to something? Does it alert you or not?
No, I never had any sensors on mine. Kiwi probably does.
Yeah, mine has 3. It doesn't have one of the ones you need, and I think that's the forward one.
So Greg, I think you need about 3 of them,
down
man.
left.
3 $600 ones.
I need what? How many?
You need like 3 of them. You need 3 drones at $600.
Come on, dude.
You
You know me. I if I'm gonna buy one, I'm not getting no $100
I
one. I'm gonna
know
buy
you.
it.
You push,
I go
tell you
big or
this.
go home.
you push them.
Go big or go home.
From experience, when you first get it, go out into the biggest field you can find. Just an open where ain't no
Right.
one around, no power lines, no trees, and just start like, and don't watch the screen, but watch the drone when you first, and like just close to you, not far away, and just kind of like play with it, maneuver in it, and like pick a spot and try to go land on it, take off.
Right.
Do not go around
too far to
water.
walk.
Do not go around water when you first get it. No,
Why? Why?
because if it
Yeah,
goes
you don't
down, you
wanna-
won't lose it.
It's wet, it's gone.
Well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
And I guarantee you it's going to go down. They'll send you extra. Every kit comes with extra propellers and extra legs, guaranteed.
Yeah, I got to
Okay.
replace a set of my propellers. It's got a good 1/4 inch off of the tips. Still flying
Yeah,
good though.
Greg, make sure you got a lot of them.
you guys tomorrow morning wake up. This motherfucking Greg's look at him. He's in my fucking window. That son of a bitch.
I was just gonna say that. I'll be like, what the hell is that?
I can see it now. What the hell
And
did
then
I see that?
Don't have your face on the camera. Don't have your face on the camera. Good morning, Rob.
No, I'll have a veer attached to the drone. Here you go, middle of night time.
No,
You
you
know?
probably drop off a Bud Light knowing you.
I drink Miller Lite. So technically, street. You can't put the phone on the thing. Then is what you're saying. On the.
I wouldn't. I'll play around with it, man. See what you can do. I guarantee it'll be a different flight
Yeah.
if it.
There-
I guarantee you, it's going to.
There goes
the
the
control. Yeah, the
There goes
controls
Greg's
will
phone.
become. Yeah, the controls will become heavy, man, for sure. What they call heavy.
What do you mean?
Yeah, but
Very
the drone got a little weight to it. But I don't see how a phone could really mess it up. I don't see how it could really mess up the weight that much because these phones nowadays are light.
Could you guys
Right.
hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So you could hear me while you were seeing that video, right?
Yeah. How high were you up?
So I mean, what's nice about the camera is you get high enough and then you just zoom in, so it makes it look like you're closer than you really are.
I can't see. The dog's going to the bathroom.
I got one of the coasts I'm gonna download and share. Here's how I figured out how to do that, and you can still hear me. It was like I just couldn't tell if anybody could hear me. But this is some of the drone work that I was working on the East Coast as I was practicing. Oh, I should do
So
the
does
military.
does it record everything, or do you have to press a button to record while it's up in
You
the air?
have to press a button.
Yeah.
You can take
So-
pictures. You can take pictures or record. The one I had, and you had to push a button separately for a picture or video. And if the
Okay.
video goes straight to the phone, you download an app and you use your phone as the screen for the controller. It hooks onto the little like controller. So yeah,
Now
it goes straight.
now the controller I understand because I seen when Jens had that. Okay. Now instead of putting the phone on the controller, do they have a headset you can put it right in front of your eyes?
You can buy ones that has a screen built into the controller. You don't use your phone. It's built into the controller itself.
No, I meant, you know how you have Oculus? You know how you have Oculus? Do they have a device where I could put it around my head, but I have the controller in my hands, but it's right in front of my face? You see what I'm saying?
So
I'm closed in.
something like over your head, something over your head, like a selfie with a phone or something like that.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
like-
You'd have to
So-
ask Kiwi, man. Kiwi might know.
So
Kiwi, do they have something like that?
like what?
Mm.
I missed it.
Where instead of putting the phone on the controller, can I put the phone where I have a device around my head and the phone's in front of my eyes? And I could just watch it in front of my eyes instead of looking down at my
Something like
controller.
virtual reality.
Yes.
Something like
Yeah, this is the virtual reality goggles.
Yep.
So technically, I don't have to have my phone on my controller. I could have it in those goggles.
Yep.
Now, see, that would be better for
Now
me.
that's
I
pretty
just
cool.
can't. Yeah,
That is.
that would
So-
be
That's
easier.
pretty cool because yeah,
I
like
tried
that.
that, and the that really disorientation from your body using the headset really got me thrown off, and I couldn't do it.
Oh, so you don't like the Oculus and all that, the 3D games and stuff, huh?
No, I use the Oculus, and I don't mind the games, but your mind, so your reality as you see it.
Yeah, you're up in
now-
the sky,
and then
buddy.
when
You're
and then
flying.
when you put those goggles on, I mean, it totally detaches your senses, and it trips your body out. And it's like,
Right.
yeah. And so I was getting more like motion sickness because it's like I want to turn my head in the direction I want to fly, and so I'm moving my head instead of just moving the drone.
I get it. I can see that. You know, because you got that 3D look to you, and some, you know, you get lightheaded.
Oh,
looking at
I
certain
see what
people.
I see what he's saying too, Rob. Like you want to move your head, and hopefully the drone will move.
Yeah,
And you can
Right.
see
But,
it
and,
on-
and that's not the case. Is you forget. It's like, no, I got to move the drone and move. It's like, oh, so my head's bobbing around left and right, up and down. It's like, oh no, I'm getting
So,
seasickness.
the first person. It's the first person. You know, like VR basically.
Yeah, but
you're
that
in
would
it.
be cool. Hey, Rob, that would be cool though to have the glasses where you turn your head and
But
it turns.
some people like to have like their big vision out there. They get more of a bigger sense. Like, okay, I got so much room to play with. Where in
Yeah.
VR, when you're in that 3D, like if you play a video game that's like one person view, and you see everything in front of you, like some people don't like that. Like right in your face, you know, like me, I'd rather. I mean, it's cool. I get what you're saying. Like being in it, it's cool. But some people they get that motion sickness. You know.
Here's
seeing
another
from-
thing. Here's another thing to keep in mind when you're looking at the description of drones is how high they'll fly, what they're registered to fly at, and I think it's like I don't know if it has to do with the RPMs of the engine or it's like preset, but mine was supposedly 400 feet height. And I'm thinking, shit, that's pretty good for, just to learn how, like a play one, to learn how to operate one. The highest I
Right.
ever got it was 365. And you could actually see the lens that I had is called a fisheye lens, like a GoPro, and it's kind of curved, but you
Right.
could see at 365, 70 feet, you could actually see the curve of the earth starting. It was
Right,
high. I mean,
exactly.
I would have liked to have gone
Oh, wow.
higher.
But can you imagine now being in a virtual reality and you're going 365 feet and you're looking down, it seems like you're in the picture. And some people they panic.
So your
They panic.
body's disorientated.
He just wants to play.
Like, holy cow, I'm
If you're
feeling
not-
it. I'm feeling it. I'm afraid of heights,
if you're
man. Put me back on the ground.
Yeah, if you're afraid of heights, you can't. Yeah, I mean, me, I'm afraid
So-
of heights. I'll never mess around.
So how
Yeah,
high?
but
How high?
so
how-
go
How
ahead,
high is
sorry.
yours rated at, Kiwi?
I set mine to 400 feet because I don't want to go beyond where a helicopter or a plane might be flying low, wherever I'm at. So,
Well, here's
I mean-
here's another thing. Even at 300 and some feet, there was a pocket probably about 250 to 300 where it got really unstable. Like it started shaking a lot, which they say there's the airstreams type with, different
Yep.
fronts, cold front, low front, or whatever.
and then
It will
that
affect
comes
them.
into what you were saying about
wind-
it having more
the wind
gyros to
shear.
be able to handle the different directional pulls on it.
Yeah. Yep. That's calibrating the gyro and the compass every flight, man. It's highly recommended. Whether you wreck it or not.
You have
Calibrate
his
both of
brush,
them.
son? Brush for the dog.
But Greg, I think you could put a phone on it. In my opinion, I think 100%. If you put
Yeah,
it on the right way,
I own. Hey, Kiwi, don't steal my idea, buddy. Wait till I get a
What?
drone.
people done. Come on,
He's
people.
over there.
but
I know. I could hear it in Kiwi's voice. He's got that little shit ass fucking laugh right there. He's like, yeah. Greg gave me a good concept.
What concept?
That you're gonna put the
Like
drone
losing
on
my
your phone.
phone on a drone and altering it? No.
No, just go buy a cheap phone and do it.
what we got?
Why would I wanna do that
what is it,
for?
9 billion people on the planet.
Because you
So
can
what's
go
the point
live.
of flying live with your phone?
Yes, flying
Using your
live on
drone.
YouTube. Yes.
Well, weren't you just saying that some drones actually have that feature where you can just broadcast from the drone?
No, I think
I
Street did.
wonder.
I think Street did.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. You
I
can
heard something,
broadcast.
so I mean,
You can broadcast it back to a laptop, and if someone was on Zoom, you could log in with it live. It'd be a live feed from like one of the people
then you
in,
don't
like
need
one
the
of
phone.
us would be live.
That would be cool. That'd be fun. Like you go to certain places and you just go live, showing the whole area. Did I lose everybody?
Nope,
No,
I'm here.
no. I was just thinking about like
no.
the first 3 days. Greg's gonna be like, I lost it in the middle of a cornfield.
No, it'd be over the water, like Street said. Don't put it over the water. My dumb ass would go over the water.
Well, not until you're
Greg,
comfortable with it. Once you're comfortable with it and you build your confidence, I'm not talking 1 or 2 days. I mean, what you like, winds come in at certain heights and you got stability and you can control it, then go over water. That it's no issue after that. The only thing you got to worry about is like they all set up with sensors like Kiwi had mentioned. It's out of flight, whatever. It's reached its distance from where it took off home, where the GPS and the compass is calibrated, and then it just pauses, and 9 times out it'll fly back to where it took off. Or low battery.
So is
Low
it
batteries.
automatically have a home?
Yes, that's where the calibration, the compass, and once it's hooked up to a GPS, it'll tell you. You'll get the green light to go. Yep, you're hooked up to GPS. That means it knows exactly where you're taking off from on GPS. And if anything happens, low battery, a malfunction, besides catastrophic malfunction, it'll go back to home where it took off on the GPS.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm jumping off, everybody. Enjoy my
Have a
day.
good one, man.
All right. Enjoy
All
your
right, take
weekend.
care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
enjoy
showing
your
some of
weekend.
my East
I'll
Coast
see you-
drone footage.
Yeah, I'll see you guys Sunday. I got a special guest. I got another
You're having
one.
a special
Alrighty.
guest.
Yeah,
Who's your
another
special
special
guest?
guest.
I heard you,
he's
babe.
about to get questioned Sunday.
Is it who I think it is?
I'm going after Superman. I'm gonna be his fucking kryptonite. Come Sunday, I'm gonna get his ass.
Oh my God. There we go. I'm gonna get a 6-pack for this.
Yeah, he already said he's coming on Sunday. So I said, you better be ready because the brutal truth is coming for you. He goes, just get your questions ready. I was like, okay. I won't get it.
Oh,
So if
yeah.
you got any questions for me to ask him, email it to me. Sorry. For Sunday. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him.
I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get his ass. I'm
Yes.
gonna get him all tongue tied. He's gonna get all tongue tied by the time I'm done with him, maybe.
Do I know who it is, Greg?
Huh?
Do I know who it is?
Who?
I said I'm asking a question. Do I know who the person is? It's me, a special guest.
I told you, Superman. It's coming on.
Man.
Oh.
He'll be on Sunday night.
He's gonna fly to save the day.
Yeah, so I'll have him. It's gonna be one-on-one again, and then people can come in after I'm done interviewing them.
I think I'm done before I'm done. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I'm thinking of some good questions. I already got some good ones. So, all right. My dog's bugging me. So, alrighty. I gotta go,
All right.
everybody. I'll talk to you.
All right,
Bye.
later.
Later, Greg.
Later.
Later. Thank you, Kiwi.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by.
What was that, about 150 feet above that where you had the straight down shot almost? About 100 feet, 150?
Yeah. And then I zoomed in, but it wasn't playing. Wow. Get your ass down there. You want something, say it. You want mama, say mama. Yeah, I was trying to download Fireworks one. I want to go back and look for it because I like that one. It's pretty cool. It was like 5 minutes.
I by accident was filming once, and basically I was going straight up and trying to get, like, you know how they do professional, like straight up and back away, where it gives it perspective, and then you reverse edit it so it looks like it started way up and lands right in front of you. I was, playing around with that, and I was up, and it was really windy, so I was putting a lot of pressure on up and back, and I let off on them both, apparently too much, and it started swaying up and down, and I'm looking at the screen. There was a storm coming in. It was like half of the screen was white with milky white or blue sky, milky white clouds, and then the other half was this dark shit from like the top of the sky to the ground. I'm like, oh shit! And I just kind of hovered there. Those are fun to come across, man, when you're lucky enough to be in that position.
As part of one of the downsides, what I've noticed with my drone, I mean, even though the picture comes out, when I'm looking at the screen, like the white is actually like gridded out and lined. It's not like the cloud.
Really?
Yeah, as if it's like a bad connection, and it's like it's really crazy because you're recording it and you see these fuzzy spots that are supposed to be white or clouds or even different blue. Even blue has been faded out. Grass has been faded out. Rocks, they've been faded out.
I would start with cleaning your lens with like a glass cleaner, for glasses,
But
eyeglasses.
It's a digital.
Okay.
Like you can literally see like grid lines.
So when you play it back, once you record it and then like you download it or whatever and put it up in a video, is it still kind of pixelated?
No, and that's the crazy thing is it's fine when you're playing it back or watching on the TV or whatever on the phone, but when you're recording though, it's like, oh man, now because it changes your perception. I mean, you're seeing green grass, but then all of a sudden you're seeing these black and white lines where there's supposed to be rocks on the hillside. So your depth perception and shade and everything has changed, and it's like being in a jacked up matrix.
I never had issues like that. The only issue I had, and I used my phone with the app. The only issue I ever had is if I didn't have it, even like on a cloudy day, if I didn't have a screen over it, like it was so dark, I try to lighten the screen as much as possible. And for whatever, I think it's the same reason with your pixelation, I couldn't see the screen. Like especially a bright day, that screen was blank. I couldn't see shit in it. It was like a mirror.
Yeah, like you have to find like put your shirt over your head just so you can kind of see the screen.
I took some corrugated, like plastic corrugated, like they use for yard signs, and fashioned with some duct tape and stuff, and fashioned a little shield to put over my phone. And even then,
No, I'm
it's
still
hard.
on YouTube.
Yeah, it's still freaking hard when sunny days on these phone screens.
Yeah, even regular.
But yeah, I never had issues like that. If I did, I'd never. Hell, I'm half blind anyhow. I didn't recognize them when I was actually doing it. They look duller, I'll say that. Looking at the screen, it looked like a dollar picture. Like the sky would be brighter and the colors would be different. I did some sunsets, and like I'm looking at it with my eyes, like, damn, that's beautiful. And I look down at the phone, it's like, oh shit, that ain't capturing half of the colors, man.
It doesn't do its justice.
No, no. And then again, I had a cheap, $150 model, man. I mean, it was nice for what I paid for it. But I'm sure there's cameras out there
Pay
like
what
crystal clear.
you pay for what you get for it, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Well, some of them I've seen in the description for, what is it, 4K or what? Yeah, 4K, I think they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some 4K capability. That has to be, maybe that's, higher quality of lens for sure.
Oh yeah.
This one, here we go. Uh, 4th of July on the East Coast, at least part of it. So share screen.
Yeah, that would sound great how it looks like that, you know, like an idea.
Yeah, that looks neat. I don't know about yours, Kiwi, but mine had where I could like turn on the mic and like talk or adhere whatever. It would record whatever the drone would be up flying away, and it's recording the visual, but the phone, I could talk into it. I could record over the recording of the camera with a voice, or like this. You could. Does yours have that capability on it? Oh, I don't think you can talk when you're sharing the screen. Yeah, I thought that was a cool. Yeah, even these, yeah, that it doesn't give it justice, man. It's like pictures,
Yeah.
but it is neat. You see
No,
that
I'm pretty
white?
sure it has audio.
Yeah, I think that's enough. If I had $150 one, hell, that's probably standard with
That's
even.
what I'm saying. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
You pay that much money, better.
that's why I bought the cheap ones first, man, because I knew, hell, I'm learning, man. I'm gonna screw it up or lose it or something's gonna, and it's not really gonna hurt. But yeah, I'm ready to move up to a more expensive one, man, and play around.
Yeah, that's how it is. You test the waters always before you jump in it, you know?
Well, I mean, all joking aside, it's like having a plane, man. You don't just hop in a plane and take off and fly. No, you got to learn, man. If you don't go to
You gotta
class, you're at
learn,
least like learning.
You better learn or I want off this plane.
I've seen some of these drones actually like fly into, not straight into the middle of it, but close enough where they're going off like within, 50, 60 feet away from them in some of the YouTube videos, man.
Pretty cool, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's dangerous. You take a chance of losing it the closer you get.
Yeah, but I mean, people look at it this way: people never took chances in life. They wouldn't be where they're at now.
I came across this one. It's a drone channel. That's all this channel does is drones. And all they do is wreck the drones. And that's it. And then they buy another one. But they got like millions of subscribers. Every
They got-
video they put out,
Yeah,
every video the guy does or the group does is it's going to wreck in the end. It's going to go over, straight dive bomb into water or into a cliff or yeah.
yeah. Remember sponsorship too. They might sponsor give them like 12 drones to do stuff like that, just to promote them and what you could do and what you can't do with them, stuff like that. You know,
Yeah.
so he's not paying enough, and the company, nickels on a dollar. You know.
Well, I seen the channel. I'm like, hell, I know I can wreck a drone. So I get some company to, hell yeah, give me the top of the line. I'll wreck the shit. Where you want me to wreck it at? Where you want
Yeah,
me to?
but that company probably be like, hey, here's a box of them, right here.
It is. I did enjoy it, man. It was a lot of fun. I looked forward to I'd get ideas and look forward to going out finding places. It was fun, man. It really was. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that you had one. Now we see everything that's ground level again.
Those are some nice shots, Kiwi.
Oh,
Oh shit! That's not like in the field. You could see the grass, couldn't you?
Yeah. See the trees that's in the background right there.
Hell, he's not that far away from it either, man. 100 yards or so. That's like a baseball field or something.
Yeah, I would say that 300 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, until that background started lighting up, it was hard to judge how far away from. He wasn't that far away from him.
Mm-mm. Not at all.
Behind, so there was a cemetery that was on the hillside behind it, where they were shooting it off, and that's where I ended up going.
That was pretty close.
And there wasn't like nobody parked up at the cemetery, and everybody was parking along the lines on the outside of the cemetery. And then all of a sudden, once it started getting late and nobody could find parking spots, they started joining us. But we had I think one of the coolest spots, and we were up right behind where they were launching.
I uploaded a few videos of a cemetery. I flew quite a few missions out of the cemetery, but there was this one time, I just left the house. I hadn't been out in 20 minutes and my batteries were charged, both of them, the controller. I was good to go for at least 30 until it was done, 15 minutes of battery. I was good. I took it up. I no sooner got maybe 200 feet up and it said low battery remote, low battery drone, and it landed. And I've always heard about energy, like batteries, spirits, or whatever you want to. And I'd never experienced it before, ever. And I'm like, shit. So I went to my phone. It's like, nope, didn't get my phone. They don't like me flying here. I put the other battery in, sat there for a while, and I got solar. I charged the remote, took about 30 minutes to charge back up. Green light came on, went up. Same thing happened again. I'm like, all right, man, I'll leave you guys alone. Sorry, my apologies. Never shot there again.
Wow, that's
Didn't
crazy.
have no problem.
That's crazy.
Never had a
Wow.
problem like that
Yeah.
ever again, man.
Did you ever try to go back and do it again? Did you see if maybe that wasn't it?
No. Like I said, I know for a fact I had charged both the batteries charged at the same time. I had the green light on both of them. They've been charging for hours. The remote had been charged. Everything had green light. I packed it up 20 minutes later, unpacked it. No, I wouldn't have lost all that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. And it was one, I don't know if you guys, I did a video of black and white with my phone of this like obelisk. It's like 30 feet tall, marble. And then that's the same
Yes,
one.
I
That's
know
the,
that.
yeah, I did that with my phone. It's a really cool, it sits up at the top of the cemetery. Long story short, that's where I took off with the drone. And I was sitting on a headstone. I was sitting there with the controller in my lap when it did that. So I
You had a
apologize to.
couple. You had a couple. You had a couple videos in cemetery. I noticed.
Yep, yep,
And you're sitting at somebody's headstone, like, "Hey, sorry there, buddy."
yep. Right in front of that big obelisk or whatever it is. Yep, right in front of it. There's this huge marble headstone, and I was sitting on it. Flesher, Flesher was the name. Mutiny on the Bounty is what got. Wasn't that Fletcher? I turned around after it done. I'm like, that's weird, man. And it's like, oh, batteries, they absorb. It's like, man, my bad. I apologize. And the name on it was Fletcher. Mutiny on the Bounty.
You always remember the name. You always remember the name when you're sitting at something, you know?
Yep. I'll always remember that name because of what happened, man. That was like, they didn't appreciate, or they were saying hi. I never, like, maybe I should go back and say, do it again. And well, no, I don't want to piss them off.
That's what I. No, but you knew that you charged the batteries, and then if that happened, if you know for a fact that in your heart that that's what happened, then there's no reason to go back.
No. And, it's a 50-50. Was they trying to communicate? Are they friendly or they just didn't like me there?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I think I pissed them off. Yeah, I don't need to be there. I won't bug them.
Go back there at the same exact time that it happened to you. See if they come out at a certain time.
Let's see this.
Those are some nice. How many years of footage do you have on your drone?
I think we lost Kiwi somewhere.
Yeah,
Can
if
you
you
hear me,
go
Shane?
back, can you hear me? Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
can
me,
hear
Rob?
you.
Okay. I go back to
Yes.
I go back to my first videos when I first started flying it and recording to like later, about a year later, and it's like night and day. It's like, what the hell was I thinking? Look at that thing, man. It's shaking all over the place. And I did on purpose. I did one in the cemetery. I wanted to imitate like I was coming down out of a tree. I'm flying up, so it's in the air, and then I come down like eye level and then fly around to this. They have these marble balls that move by themselves. And anyhow, I didn't calibrate the compass or the gyro. And as soon as every time you take off, it does this like big loop thing. And it's constantly you're constantly battling the controls, and the controls change it all the time. That was fun. I like doing that. Uncontrolled flights. It ended up looking like I was drunk, stumbling around. I fell out of a tree and was stumbling around a graveyard. Yep. There's an obelisk or a flagpole. Yeah, now that's a two. That's a three. That's a 3-axis move he just did right there. He's going forward, and then and then I think that's what they call a 3-axis, and then he comes back around. That's practice, man. So I'm curious when Kiwi comes back. I'm curious if he ever had issues with batteries going low in cemeteries, man. I can see he's on the road.
I mean, if you know you got 30 minutes and you're looking at your phone, you kind of know within 25 minutes it's time to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, no battery issues. not
Oh, you cut out. I'm curious, did you ever like walk around? Did you ever walk around the cemetery, or you pretty much stayed on the roads in your car? Did you ever like walk around the tombstones while you were
uh
flying?
no. I just stayed right there on the grass, on sitting on like one or two headstones there, enjoying their company.
Okay.
They were keeping me energized.
Well, I'm convinced. I had a gut feeling it was me sitting on Lesher's family headstone, man. It wasn't appreciated. That's what
Yeah,
my
Fudge
final
is like,
answer.
yeah, Fudge, didn't want you around no more.
But yeah, that was just some of the East Coast drone footage that I was taking as I was learning more about myself and my
East
family.
Coast, you're talking, it's probably common to have 17, 16, 1500s grave markers, at least 16s and 17s on the East Coast in Massachusetts.
I don't know. I never really sat there and walked around and went looking at headstones.
Oh,
Though you would think
I
I would
do.
have to agree that yeah,
I
there'd be
do.
some pretty damn old ones because that's part of the main routes they were taking over
I
this
do
way.
too.
When I'm Ohio here and it's farmland on central Ohio, they'll have what's called family plots. And like, I don't care if the
Yeah,
family's been dead and gone for hundreds of years, that road access stays open. The fields on, I mean, it's free access. No one, no farm, if anyone buys it, they don't disrupt it or yeah, it's public. You can go back there. The oldest I have found in my area, central Ohio, is 1769. Yeah, 1769 is the
Oh,
oldest,
wow.
and that's
so
in central Ohio.
I'm
I'm
trying to
thinking,
think.
what the hell? And you compare, it's like white marble. It hasn't been like however they polish and protect it. They got a cover over it now. I'll get
Huh,
some footage of it.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, well, if I was in Massachusetts, oh man, I bet you can find some freaking old if they're still legible, because they use that like if they did use marble, it's a different type. They didn't like something they do nowadays to protect it.
Yeah, it's like they put a sheen on it, a nice finish.
Yeah, something they do, man. Something hell, like some of these family plots around here, you can tell it's what you white marble. It's got black like a not a maybe a fungus or some type, and you can't read nothing. You might be able to see born, and it's barely. I used to kids and I
Mhm.
used to go out with what clear copy paper and a big thing of like artist chalk. It's like a big
Yeah,
basic like like chalk, but it's black
rubbing.
and rub across them, and you get a better reading of what they say. We did that a lot, man. Take pictures and
Oh,
stuff.
wow.
All right, peoples and fellas. As you know, the wife has been home for like a half hour. I've slacked on my details for today, and now I gotta go finish up my start. I gotta go start my day. I enjoyed everybody for coming on. Thank you, Street, Troy, Greg, Rob, Tyler, uh, for hopping on and sharing your wisdoms, thoughts, and ideas about the chase, about the adventures that we're all taking beyond the thrill of the chase. And and I look forward to seeing um, more adventures coming out from you guys. Hopefully, positive ones, and that bring you guys good fortune and at least good friendships. And everybody else, thanks for stopping by. It seems random and sudden that I'm like talking and like heading off, but life is life, and I have to hit pause on this life and hit play on heaven. So with that, again, you guys got anything you like to say before I sign off?
Appreciate it, man. Later off.
Tyler, Rob, Tyler,
No,
oh,
I
you, Rob.
appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, and everybody else, keep calm and treasure on, and yeah, keep an eye out. There's at the top there pinned is that video. Go make a comment. Most of you probably already have, but I know you got friends and family that might watch YouTube. So share that link and let them make a comment. The more the merrier. Let them become subscribers. 114,000 subscribers to get the unique comments. Either that or that gold coin that I'm trying to give away will just, I guess, hang out in my pocket for a little bit longer. But until then, yeah, Talking Tuesdays is, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with
Later,
Talking
Street.
Tuesdays. But later, Street. Later, Rob.
Later, everyone.
And I guess to everybody else, we'll see you when we see you. And we'll talk more, whatever. But yeah, oh yeah, D&D guys get painted and given away. That's a long time thing that I got the rest of my life to do too. So watch out for those videos, or a giveaway comment video for those, or whatever. We'll figure that one out too down the road. Yeah, I was hoping to go to Yellowstone this year. Didn't make it, which I could have. Would have been fun. But life and priorities were more important. And with that, I'll say again, keep calm and treasure on, and we'll see y'all later on. Stay classy. How we hit this thing? Which button is it? That one? There? This one? Nah. Oh, that map there, in case anybody's hanging out, there's the one that's signed by Shiloh. That's part of that comment picker giveaway up there that's pinned at the top. So go check it out. You may or may not like it, but hey, it's worth trying to get something for free for doing nothing except for leaving a comment and sharing. So, like long hangouts. Again, thanks for stopping by. I hope you guys appreciated some of this conversation. Intellectual, non-intellectual, physical, metaphysical, spiritual, religious, or whatever have you. Try to keep it positive and light, and at least learning, because we love to hunt history, and history is part of what people share with their stories. So, later. Yeah, I want to end the meeting. I gotta go eat some breakfast and lunch now. And wife brought me home